If you can do it, it would be great because I'll get it backwards at some point. I appreciate it. Oh.
Proposal on the Senate floor. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
I've spoken with my caucus, and Democrats are offering a very simple compromise.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer proposing a one-year extension of Obamacare tax credits attached to an existing short-term spending bill to end the government shutdown, while setting up a bipartisan committee to negotiate on health care costs after the government reopens.
With this approach, we do not negotiate health care in the shutdown, as Leader Thune has maintained he wishes. And the American people get the tax credit extension they want.
But Montana Republican Senator Steve Daines just telling Fox,
we've got to solve this problem, but you can't shut the government down, use as leverage here to try to get this outcome.
Still saying Democrats should support a clean short-term bill to reopen government without any strings attached. President Trump still urging Senate Republicans to end the filibuster rule so a simple majority could do it. This as the shutdown ripple effects get worse at major airports, where the FAA ordered flight reductions to ease the pressure on air traffic control staffing.
Today, tomorrow, and Sunday, the agency is requiring the airlines to cut 4% of their schedule at 40 of the country's largest airports, and that number will gradually ramp up to 10% by the end of next week.
Fox Business's Grady Trimble at DC's Reagan National.
The airlines are refunding passengers who don't want to travel. If they want to cancel their flight, they can, and they'll get a full refund, even if they're not impacted by these cancellations. They're reassuring customers that the vast majority of them won't be affected by the cancellations, but the problem is the delays are still happening as well as the cancellations, so it adds a new wrinkle to the travel troubles.
So far today, more than 800 flights canceled around the country, delays now topping 3,000. America is listening to Fox News.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is Friday. I've been waiting all week to be here with you guys. And yes, if your ears do not deceive you, it is the Kimmer Show, but I am not the Kimmer. Folks, this is 106.3, Xtra 106.3, the Kimmer Show. And this is Victor Armendariz sitting in for the Kimmer today. And again, lots and lots of many thanks to go out for the Kimmer to trust me once again behind this awesome microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, I have so much to get to. We have only got 3 hours. We've only got 3 hours. So I want you to sit back, grab a hold of something. If you're driving, you better use 2 hands and grab a hold of that wheel after you turn up your volume, because you're going to want to hear what I have to say. A lot of times, if you're familiar with my show, and again, I'm Victor Armendariz sitting in for the Kimmer. My show is called The Victor Armendariz Show, and you can pick it up all over the place. Actually, Spotify is the best place to get it. But you can hear me. You can find me on social media. But I've got, I have a way of sometimes of putting things in, and an eye, the way I look at things that you don't really hear from the mainstream media. Well, I know you're not going to hear from the mainstream media, but you're not going to see sometimes the analysis I give, because, ladies and gentlemen, look, I'm not a sycophant for anybody. Yes, I am what I would call myself a conservatarian. I've got conservative views, I've got libertarian views, but what it comes down to, what you hear from me is just common sense and logic. You're going to hear common sense and logic. And folks, I'm known as the Mexican not afraid to be American. A Mexican not afraid to be American. Because I love this country, and I'm not afraid to say it, but I love the Constitution, and I love our freedom. I love our liberty. So everything I see coming out of Washington, when you hear me talk about it, it's because I give it the constitutional freedom and liberty analysis. When you hear me talk about some kind of subject or something coming out of Washington, something news of the day, and what these bozos in Washington are doing, and yes, there are bozos on both sides, especially the left, you're going to hear common sense and logic from me, and I put everything through the Constitution test. If it doesn't pass the constitutional muster of this country, then I don't care who proposes it, the right side, the left side, the middle side, the underside, the upside. It doesn't matter to me. If it's not supported by the Constitution, then I'm going to let you know. Because you need to know this thing, and if any politician comes out of Washington with some kind of plan that's not rooted in freedom, it's not rooted in liberty, I'm going to call them out on it. So you're going to learn real quick as you get to know me, Victor Armendariz. I'm not a sycophant for any politician or for any party. So I want to get that out of the way. So listen, folks, if you want to find out more about me, please go to social media. You can find me, Victor Armendariz, all over the place. Victor Armendariz, just spell it correct, Armendariz. You're Mexican, not afraid to be American. Listen, I got to start with this. I know, because I've already been getting the emails. You guys want to know what my thoughts are on the elections that happened. You guys want to know what I think about Mandami. This guy. Listen, folks, it's not all doom and gloom, unless you live in New York City, but there's not all. And for those of you who are supporting the Republican Party, don't get down and out. Your glass still isn't half empty; it's half full. And I'm going to tell you why. I promise. If you are one of those, and trust me, I've gotten the emails in the past couple of days, the past few days. If you are one of those Republicans and you're down in the dumps because of what happened in the elections the other day, you shouldn't be down in the dumps. Now, there are warning signs. There are, and I'm going to tell you what they are. But it's not doom and gloom. What happens in New Jersey and what happens in New York is not going to be indicative of what happens in the rest of this country. Now, I say that, but there are some red flags, and I'm going to tell you what the red flags are. And if anybody out there is listening to me right now that has any connection with any Republican campaign or Republican Party officials, you're going to want them to tune in and listen to what I have to say today, because I will probably tell them things that nobody else is. Well, nobody on their side is going to tell them, but I will, because I'm not afraid. But there's not all doom and gloom, so just trust me when I tell you that. But as it comes to New York City, oh my goodness, folks, you got to understand, New York City, we're talking about the Bronx, we're talking about Brooklyn, we're talking about Staten Island, we're talking about Queens, we're talking about Manhattan. It's a different animal. I mean, there's a reason that the Democrats have tried to stack and put as many people on top of each other in that city and trying to make them dependent. The Democrat Party, what you've got to understand when you look at Mandami and what happened, there aren't a whole lot of Republicans in New York City. There just aren't. They've all left. And they left for good reason. And I shouldn't say just Republican. If you're just a common sense person and you work hard and you want to keep the sweat equity that you earn, if you've been working in New York City and you're paying $5,000 a month in rent for a bathroom size of an apartment, I mean, you know what I'm talking about, folks. If any of you have been in New York or spent time in Manhattan or around the New York City area, you know what I'm talking about. You can get a flat in New York City and pay $3, $4, $5,000 or more a month, and you're in the space of about a bathroom. I mean, you've got your kitchen, your bathroom, and your bed are pretty much in the same room. I mean, it's just that's how it is in New York City, and people live on top of each other. But what you've got to understand first and foremost, you show me the last Republican that was elected in the city of New York, anywhere around New York. Look at the state house, look at the state senate, look at the city councils, look at everything around the boroughs of New York City. Then you're not going to find an elected Republican. So you tell me who made the city so unaffordable. You know, Mandami picked up on a good. This is what blows me away about so many voters in this country, and this is it really hurts my heart when I see this. Because if you're a voter in New York City and you just went and voted for Mandami and you're complaining about affordability, if you bought into Mandami's message that things are unaffordable and you can't afford to live in New York City, well, you know what? Mandami's a smart dude. He's a smart dude. He's not a dumb guy. Now, he's a horrible candidate. I mean, he's going to be a bad mayor. I can tell you that just because of his policies. His policies are terrible. Mandami himself may be a nice guy. Mandami himself may be a smart guy. But his policies are going to hurt the very people he pretends to care about. Just like on the whole, when you look at the Democrat Party of today, and again, your Democrat Party of today is not your Democrat Party of yesterday. It's not the Kennedy Democrat Party. It's not even the Bill Clinton Democrat Party. The Democrat Party today is very, very different. And you're listening to a guy who grew up being told he had to be a Democrat all of his life because of the color of my skin. Just because I'm a brown guy. I got, my dad, you guys know that know me, know the story. My dad came to this country. He was an immigrant. He came here the right way, but he had to learn English. He had to work 3 or 4 or 5 jobs at a time to climb up the ladder to be an American. And to take, earn enough money to take care of his family, but he wanted to be an American. It's the difference. My dad came here from Mexico because he wanted to see what this country had. He heard about the American dream. This is a guy and my father who grew up in Mexico, not hearing about the Mexican dream, but he heard about the American dream. So when he was able to in his early 20s, he came to this country. And this country welcomed him. If it weren't for the greatness of the people of this country, I wouldn't be here. So, but they welcomed my dad, and my dad learned English, and my dad obtained his citizenship. And when I grew up, and my sisters and my brothers, my dad always told us, "Listen, I will never let you forget the country of where we came from, your history. But you're going to understand that the United States is the best country you could ever grow up in, that you could ever achieve whatever you want to achieve. Whatever you want to do, you can do in this country." My dad didn't look at us and say, "Boy, one of these days we're going back to Mexico so you can achieve the Mexican dream." No. He said, "You're going to get educated and you're going to be raised here in the United States because this is where the American dream lies." That's how I grew up. And so even then, though, because my dad was a Kennedy Democrat, and back then, that's how they were in this country, a lot of immigrants like my dad. And so I grew up being told, you got to be a Democrat, got to be a Democrat. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, today's Democrat Party is not yesterday's Democrat Party. So anyway, I'm going to ramble on here, and we're going to get to the break. And I got to do something here. Listen, folks, listen. I love Frank Sinatra. I love Frank Sinatra. And you know the song. You know New York song. Well, I got to tell you, New York's going to have a new song. New York is going to have a new song, and this is it. I need somebody. Everybody in New York. I hate to tell you. This is your new song. I'm sorry. But everybody in New York City, especially if you're a Jewish person in New York City, you're going to learn the words of this song. But if you're a person and you want to work and make a living in New York City, you're going to be singing this tune. This is the new New York City song. Help me. Help me. It's just crazy, folks. All right, folks, we got to go to the break. We will be right back. Don't you go anywhere. Appreciate you being around.
Did you miss Neil Bortz?
I am shocked.
Don't worry. He's live anytime on the Xtra 106.3 app.
Oh, that radio show.
Did traffic cause you to miss some of the Kimmer Show? Get it on the app.
It's all the kids talk about on Monday at school.
With anytime show replays from the Kimmer, Bortz, The Morning Extra, Clay and Buck, and so much more. Plus local headlines and breaking news. Grab the Xtra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if your old windows have you boiling in the summer and freezing in the winter, you need the pros at Window Nation with installation precision and experience that are second to none. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90NATION for your free estimate. And for a limited time, get 50% off all window styles, plus pay no interest for 5 years.
Hey, this is Tom Mitchell, the Honest Car Guy. So things are deceiving sometimes, and it's hard to explain how much money I can really save you. I've saved people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, on a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20,000. I mean, let's be realistic. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000, but it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize, the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%, or really it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. We found a better way for customers to buy a car, an honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee. We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal. So the beauty of what we do is we don't put you on a car that we have to sell. We put you on a car that you want. And at the Honest Car Guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car. Call 1-844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Georgia Tech women's basketball single game tickets for the 2025-2026 season are on sale now. Secure your seats at McCamus Pavilion to watch head coach Karen Blair and the Yellow Jackets take on ACC opponents like North Carolina, Stanford, and Louisville. Save your seats to watch head coach Karen Blair and the Yellow Jackets back at the Thrillerdome this season by visiting RamlinRack.com/tickets. Sting 'em.
Faith, family, freedom. These are the cornerstones of America and the foundation for a successful life. But today, all three are under attack. Crushing debt, out-of-control spending, and reckless policies in Washington are threatening your savings, your retirement, and your future. Hi, this is Glenn Beck. The only financial advisory firm I recommend in Atlanta is Nicholas Wealth Management. David Nicholas and his team believe protecting your money is about more than wealth. It's about defending your faith, your family, and your freedom. If your hard-earned retirement is left exposed to market chaos, higher taxes, or inflation, what happens to the life you've worked so hard to build? For over 20 years, David Nicholas has helped families right here in Atlanta fight back with retirement strategies built to better withstand uncertainty.
Call Nicholas Wealth Management today, 404-890-5606, or visit nicholaswealth.com. Aim to safeguard your future today.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies.
Okay, who just opened your Obamacare or Marketplace renewal and almost fell off that chair? Hey, 35%, and it's not even any better? You're not crazy. They keep jacking the premium and giving you less. I don't know about this stuff, but I know who does. I go to Steven, the health insurance doctor. I send people there because he's been doing this 16 years. He wins awards for this stuff. He helps the self-employed, 1099, small business owners, the people actually paying for their own insurance. But you're going to get corporate-style coverage, nationwide PPO. How about lower zero deductibles, plans that pay you cash benefits when you use them? And he does it all around the year-round there because, you know what, he's independent. He's got multiple carriers to quote. A lot of you are going to see that premium go right down instead of up. And in some cases, saving us 60% over that renewal number. He works for you, not Washington. Here's the number, 678-523-0759. 678-523-0759. Or go to healthinsurancedoctor.net. It's Steven, not a call center. Your plan, your savings, and tell him the Kibber sent you.
Sound of a sweet, sweet V12, which reminds me of the other day. Yeah, I did it again. I know I almost feel bad, but then I don't. Folks, I let's just say I have a vehicle that is above a V8. It isn't what you're hearing now. I can't afford one of those. But I've got an awesome American aspirated V10, pure air aspirated. I should say American aspirated. I guess in a way it is. It's hand-built by Americans. And I can't help it, but every time I pass a V10, I pass an EV, that sound that just played right there from producer Joe, that's what an EV hears when I pass it. and I do it with all the greatest things. Look, listen, I'm not against EVs. I just like to have fun with them. So when I'm in the V10, it sounds not quite like that V12 because the timing on a V10 is a little different. But it still sounds just beautiful. So, all right, folks, I'm already getting, you listeners are awesome. I'm already getting messages from, now the song Help is stuck in your heads. But that is going to be the New York City. That's the 5 boroughs. That's their new song. It's not Frank Sinatra anymore. It's going to be Help. That's the song. Because so many people, when they figure out, are going to be using the song. I mean, they're going to be singing Help. I mean, that's just because they're going to need it. New York is going to need some help when Mondami's done with you guys. So I'm sorry, but the 5 boroughs, that's your new song. Now, as far as the state of New York, thanks to Kathy Holcomb, because if you think Kathy Holcomb is going to put the total brakes on Mondami, you're out of your mind, because the entire Democrat Party is afraid of Mondami right now. This guy is the new face of the Democrat Party. And if you think Kathy Holcomb, who's about to go into an election season and have to, it's going to be in a fight for her life, believe it or not, even in New York, it's not going to be an easy election for her. If you think she's going to pump the brakes on Mondami and risk the wrath of the far left to come after her during an election season, that's not going to happen. So rest assured. So the new song, by the time Mondami and Holcomb get some of these policies that he wants to do in effect over the next I guess starting in January sometime, the new state song for New York City is going to be this. Let me tell you how it will be. And yeah, you can blame me for getting this stuck in your head, but it's true. There's one for you, 19 for me. Yeah, it's one for you and a whole lot for the government. 'Cause I'm the tax man. Yeah, I'm the tax man. That's what's coming to New York City, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if you're in the state of New York and you can afford to leave, I can imagine the exodus that's going to happen because, ladies and gentlemen, listen, you've got Mondami, who has told you straight up, he's not even hiding it. He's going to tax the you-know-what. And here's the thing. I don't know if any of you guys saw this because the mainstream media is not going to show you this. None of the CBS, NBC, PBS, ABCs, none of them, even CNN, MSNBC, none of them are going to show you this. But I think it was yesterday. I don't know if it was some, I think maybe a state elected official in New York. I honestly, folks, I should remember, but I don't. But they were being interviewed. And they asked, well, what happens when Mondami, to get all the money that Mondami wants to do, all the programs, he wants to do free grocery stores, he wants to do free, and ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. You don't realize how expensive something is until a Democrat comes along and tells you it's going to be free. You want to see how expensive your life can be? Wait till a Democrat comes and tells you it's going to be free. So Mondami wants free grocery stores. He wants free bus rides. He wants free this, free that. And somebody asked, how is he going to pay for it? And this official said, well, he's going to tax the millionaires and the billionaires. And this, I have to give credit to whoever this reporter was, because they looked at this person and said, well, what happens when they all leave? What happens when the millionaires leave? What happens when the billionaires leave? And you know what this person said? Well, we're going to just tax everybody else. And so the reporter said, so wait a minute, you mean you're going to tax the middle class? You're going to tax the lower middle class? And this official didn't even hide it. Well, yes, we're going to tax everybody. We're going to tax, whether it's the middle class, the lower class, the poor. Now, some of you astutely will ask, how are you going to tax the poor when many of them don't pay federal income tax anyway? Well, we're talking about New York. We're talking about the state taxes. We're talking about the city taxes, the state taxes, and all the local municipalities around the 5 boroughs. If Mandami does what he does, trust me, if you're earning a paycheck, doesn't matter how poor you are, how rich you are, whatever you are in the ranking system of the income system, you're on the state level, and especially in New York City, because it's one of the highest tax states in the country, you're going to pay payroll taxes. You're going to pay excise taxes. You're going to pay all those taxes that you pay in New York City. You ride an Uber, you pay a tax. You ride a taxi, you pay a tax. You get on the subway, you pay a tax. You buy anything, you pay a tax. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you breathe, you're paying tax in New York. That's how and again, the Democrats did this to you. And listen, I have listeners in New York City, folks. I have listeners of the Victor Armendariz show in New York City. And they I know you're up there, and I know some of you are listening, and I know some of you are on the left. You cannot complain to me about the situation you're in New York City and try to blame the Republicans. There's no elected Republicans in sight making policy in New York City. They're all Democrats. So Democrats did this to you. And your answer is, well, we're so upset with how expensive it is in New York City. We really hate what the Democrat politicians have done to us. So we're going to go more left. So you're just going to go from your typical Democrat politician in New York to your socialist and your communist. You're going that route. That's what you did with Mandami. I don't know how he could stand up there. And Mandami, what's cracked me up is this guy's a mayor. Folks, there's not that much power in mayorship, okay? New York City, it's because New York is New York. I mean, New York's an amazing place. It really is, folks. I spent a lot of time there in my younger life. I spent a lot of time there. New York is an amazing city. It truly is. And it's unfortunate that it's been run the way it's run, but it's an amazing city. And you have Wall Street. You've got, I mean, it's when you look at New York City, I mean, when you compare it to the rest of the world, New York City has a bigger GDP than most countries around this world. Just New York City. So we're talking about a mecca of capitalism. And then you guys in New York City just elected a guy who's a professed socialist and says that communism, I mean, I'm not saying this, he said it. Zoran Mondami has said this himself. He spouts Marxist theory. He spouts the Communist Manifesto. You can look it up yourself. I am not saying this, folks. I'm just repeating things that Mondami himself has said. If you want to look up his old social media, if they haven't deleted it yet, all over his social media from a few years ago before he was thinking about running, he's got all of the information. He loves communism. He loves socialism. You want to know why? Because he'll never have to participate in it. What you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the history of socialism, the socialists never participate in socialism, only the peasants do. So if you're a socialist, socialism isn't for you, socialism is for the people. So understand this, hear this from me, because maybe no one else has talked to you this way before, and maybe no one else is as frank as I am. But socialism is for the people. Socialism is never for the socialist. So Mondami will never have to. Mondami's never going to be poor. That dude's never been poor in his life. The guy's never even worked. He's never had a real job in his life. Up until, I don't know, a week ago, his parents were paying for his rent. I'm not saying that. He said it. His parents have been paying for his and he's 30-something years old, folks. All right. So you're talking about a guy who's looking at you, who's never going to be poor, who's going to make you poor. But again, you will bear the burdens of socialism. The hierarchy of socialism, when you are the socialist on top, which is Mondami, he's never going to bear any of these burdens. But you You, the peasant down there trying to drive a bus or drive a cab or drive an Uber or deliver food or you're an NYPD guy, you're a FYPD, you're any job, just you name it. You're a worker in a fast food. You will bear the burdens of socialism, and if you think you're going to get $30 an hour minimum wage because that's what Mandami told you he was going to do. All right, here's the thing. Here's the dirty little truth. If Mandami succeeds in getting $30 an hour minimum wage, you're not going to have a job. Okay? Understand me. If Mandami succeeds in getting the minimum wage in New York City to $30, then you're going to have a mass exodus of businesses, and you're going to have robotics like you've never seen. What you won't have are low-income wage jobs or entry-level jobs because they're going to be gone because nobody can afford to buy a Big Mac for $50 a Happy Meal. All right, folks, this is The Kimmer Show. I'm Victor Armendariz filling in. We'll be right back.
Keep up with all of our shows and the latest headlines by following Xtra 106.3 on Instagram, X, Facebook, Truth Social, and all your social media platforms. Plus exclusive giveaways and more. So follow now at Xtra 106.3.
True Prep's at it again with even more in-store specials. They have the Glock 19 Gen 4 and Glock 19X in stock today while supplies last. In addition, they have great deals on 15 and 33-round Glock 9mm magazines through November 12th. Other deals include the Radical Firearms AR-15 for only $399.99 and some of the lowest prices on 9mm and .223 ammo you will find in Atlanta. Check them out in-store at True Prep or on Cobb Parkway in Marietta. Or check out their full list of these and other deals at TruePrep.com. That's TRUPrep.com.
Stop dreaming, start driving. Get the gift that keeps on giving with the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration at RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs. Each of our certified pre-owned vehicles undergoes an exhaustive process of analysis, inspection, and reconditioning until it meets the uncompromising standards of RBM of Atlanta and Mercedes-Benz. For a limited time, get special financing from as low as 2.99% APR. In addition, you'll receive unlimited confidence with Mercedes-Benz's unlimited mileage warranty, delivering continued assurance for up to 7 years. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this vehicle and many other models during the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration, now through December 1st. Not all offers apply to all vehicles, and special financing available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Services through December 1st, 2025. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit us at rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
A company that has been trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years has already done their hometown homework, like having the very best people, fair, honest pricing, exceptional customer service, and a focus on high quality work. That's us. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Sometimes new isn't better, like out-of-town home improvement companies invading Atlanta with their inflated pricing and subpar work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
The right partner makes all the difference. For more than 185 years, we forged personal relationships with our customers and communities, funding economic development and rallying around the causes that are important to our neighbors. With the technology, products, and expertise you'd expect from a big bank and the local decision-making and commitment to community from your neighborhood bank, United Bankshares is your trusted financial partner for life. Learn more at bankwithunited.com. United Bankshares, member FDIC.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check them out online at atlturfgo.com.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPSETC.com.
We all know the importance of good daily habits, whether it's getting your steps in, stretching those limbs, or eating right. Doing it on the regular is key. That's why if you're dealing with everyday aches and pain, it's time to bring Relief Factor into your routine. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a special formula of 4 natural ingredients. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. So call 1-800-4-RELIEF and try their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Simply call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, don't let it keep you from living the life you want. Make Relief Factor part of your daily routine. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Probably one of the best remakes ever. Hey, folks, it's Victor Armendariz, your Mexican not afraid to be American, filling in for the Kimmer on Xtra 106.3. Folks, if you have not gotten the Xtra 106.3 app yet, get it, because you're going to hear the Kimmer whenever you want if you have the Xtra 106.3 app or anything else on Xtra 103.6. 106.3. I did it again. If you want, it's Xtra 106.3, folks. Listen, but when you have the app, anytime I fill in for the Kimmer or anyone else here, you'll be able to listen to me very easily just by clicking on the app. So make sure you get that. All right, folks. Yes, Kimmer is out today. I think he's out there swinging a golf club. I'm not sure, but I think so. But while I'm at it, ladies and gentlemen, listen, Xtra 106.3 and 680 The Fan, they proudly honor our nation's bravest at the Veterans Day Golf Classic at the Heritage Golf Links in Tucker, which I have a feeling that's where a few people are. Notice I didn't get to go. Well, folks, listen, I'm too short to play golf. And listen, you may say, no, Victor, anybody can play golf. Well, no, because I had at one point golf clubs cut to fit me, and I still couldn't hit the ball. So no, I'm too short to play golf, so I won't be doing that. But no, listen, Xtra 106, 680 The Fan proudly honor our nation's bravest, the Veterans Day Golf Classic at the Heritage Golf Links in Tucker. So it benefits the Warrior Alliance and their mission to support active duty military and their families transitioning to civilian life. Ladies and gentlemen, if you know a veteran, you know it can be trying sometimes transitioning back into civilian life. So you got to have grace for our veterans and have a place in your heart for our veterans. And so this is an amazing thing. And I just want to give a shout out, because whenever companies can sponsor things like this, they deserve shout outs. But you've got Harrah's Cherokee Casino Resorts, Tito's Handmade Vodka, the Color Spot, Beaver Toyota, Matthews Cafeteria. If you haven't eaten at Matthews Cafeteria, you haven't eaten yet. And Aikens Ford. Those are just some of the sponsors. And I'm going to mention some more later. Oh, all right. Well, I've got to take a call. Ladies, hey, when the Kimmer calls, you got to answer the Kimmer. All right, go for it.
Hey, boys, how's it going? What's up, Victor?
Oh, my gosh, Kimmer. First of all, it is an absolute honor that you allow me to fill in behind this microphone for
stop. You're killing me. Shut up. Stop it.
And then you're going to take time to call. Oh, my gosh, Kimmer.
Well, honestly, it was, I hope you can hear me okay. I'm on like a hands-free thing here, and I hope it doesn't sound too bad with squeaking or whatever.
You sound like you're in a box, but we got you.
By the way, in Tucker, it just just now. Come on, let's go there, Dick, idiot.
Hey, what's out there, Kimmer?
Freaking stupid, freaking idiots. Anyway, it just started to sprinkle.
Oh, no.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Hey, Kimmer, I don't want you getting in any fights now. Come on now.
No, I'm good. No, the thing is, the truth of the matter is that I never take, unless I have to, if I'm going to the airport or something. But if I'm not going to the airport or doing something like that, I don't go on 400. I don't go on 285, 85, 75. I take all back roads and I use Waze. And I live about 22 miles from work, and it takes me an hour. And I don't care. I go through the golf course. I'm happy. Everybody's happy. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing. That's what that Waze thing was. So, but the golf tournament, I mean, you're right. I mentioned those sponsors. I mean, those people are freaking wonderful.
Absolutely.
The time they I mean, it's just really, and the volunteers, the people who work for those companies. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I guess you can hear that. I'm sorry. I don't know how to use my phone. I swear to God, I'm looking at my faceplate now. I don't know how to turn off Waze while I talk to you because I'm afraid I'll cut both of you off. I mean,
no, well, the good thing is we can hear you more than Waze, so that's okay.
All right. Well, anyway, I mean, I'm an educated man. I don't know how to use my freaking phone. Brutal.
Well, one day you're going to learn how to use the VCR, so it's okay.
Yeah, I know. It was great fun. We released. I think it was sold out, raised a lot of money.
Oh wow!
And honestly, I can't thank the sponsors enough. And again, I'm very cynical about the way America feels about veterans. I think most Americans don't give a damn.
Oh my gosh!
The people like these people at Warrior Alliance and so forth, and I can't say enough about them. They're there to help, and they're in it to help. They're certainly not going to get rich doing it. So anyway, God bless America. It was a lot of fun. Pete Davis was great to play with, and Mike the crackhead engineer. I'm sorry, the crackhead engineer, and his brother. We played in our foursome. We had a lot of fun. And,
so, Kimmer,
and my talk in the morning, it was all great fun. Yes, sir.
Who won?
Oh, I have no idea. I know it wasn't me, but I honestly had more fun. I hit more great shots than I've hit in a long time since I don't really play golf anymore. So I had a ball. It was worth it, and I'm just tickled. And God bless America. And have a great show, man. I'll listen to you on the way home.
Thank you, Kimmer. Thank you, Kimmer, and God bless and drive safe. And man, if anybody stops and spits on your car, you do to them what I would do to them. Well, I would kick him in the knee, but you're taller than me, so you can kick him in a probably more dire place than that. But no, listen, ladies and gentlemen, the Kimmer is 100% right, 100% right. And I will tell you who the winner is today. The winner is the Warrior Alliance. The winner are all the veterans that are going to benefit from the help that an organization like the Warrior Alliance, what they're doing, and what the Kimmer and Pete Davis, what they did today, and what all these sponsors, what they're contributing to. I don't know how to put it in better words what it means to be a veteran. I don't know I can't do justice to what it means when somebody voluntarily sorry folks, sometimes the Spanish comes out, when you put on the uniform of the United States, when you represent the red, white, and blue, the true red, white, and blue, the flag of this country, and listen, I speak to you from someone who spent a lot of time in a third world ugly country. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my heritage. I love Mexico. Mexico's a beautiful country and could be really great if they would let Donald Trump make it great again. Mexico would be great. It really could be. It's a beautiful place, folks. It is. And I will forever love from where, as my dad puts it, where my people come from. I'll always appreciate that. But there's no place on this earth like the United States. There's no place, no country in this world has a shining light on the hill, that city that sits on the hill that you can look at and go, that's the American dream. Nobody has that. And we have it here because of the veteran. We have it because of the active military. We have it because of the men and women. And maybe there's a couple that don't know what they are, but but the Secretary of War is taking care of that. He's reminding them that they're either male or female. No, I'm not going to go down that road. I'm sorry, but nobody. We wouldn't be here. None of us would be here. This country wouldn't be here if it weren't for the men and women who put on the uniform, strapped that flag on them, on their arm, and go and did the things that they did, the sacrifice that they made. And listen, they all gave so much, and some gave the ultimate. And we should never, ever, 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 ever forget. Listen, I've said this before, and I say it on my show all the time, and I've said it when I filled in for Kimber before. There should be no such thing as a homeless veteran in this country. And folks, please bear with me. Bear with me because I'm not angry, folks. I'm just right. I'm not angry. I'm just right. And I get passionate about this because there should be no such thing as a homeless veteran in this country. There should be no such thing as a hungry veteran in this country. And there should never, ever, ever, ever be a time when a veteran needs help and can't get that help. And so, folks, if you are in a position, and I understand the Biden administration and cackling Kamala did so much damage when they were in office, and I understand a lot of you are still struggling. A lot of families out there are trying to get ahead. But if you're in a position, ladies and gentlemen, if you're in a position and you can afford to just give a little bit, or maybe go pick up some food and drop it off at your local food pantry, drop it off at your local church, get involved somewhere, get involved with Warrior Alliance, get involved with Wounded Warriors, get involved with some of these organizations and help a veteran. Because these are tough times. And now you've got the Democrat. Oh, I am really going to. Kimmer, this is your fault. I'm going down. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to go on this tangent. You've got the Democrat Party right now. And here's the deal, folks. If you want to know, if you're out there and you're not sure who to blame for this government shutdown, listen, I can make this very simple for you. There have been 14 votes. This is simple. That 14 times in the last month, 14 times, they have sat in the Senate and they said, are we going to open the government? Vote yes or no to open the government. And every Republican except one voted yes, and every Democrat except 3 voted no. So whose fault is it? 14 times, almost the entire Democrat Party voted no to the question of opening the government. So you're feeling pain right now. And if you're a recipient of benefits, if you're trying to fly, if you're trying, if you're a veteran and you're trying to get in, and maybe you're an appointment and you go to the VA and they're telling you, well, I'm sorry, we don't have enough people today to talk to you. Oh, can you come back tomorrow, or can you sit here in the lobby until we figure out somebody who wants to work? And you can't blame them. A lot of them aren't getting paid. No, you blame the Democrat Party. And this, again, is where it just chaps me on the backside, because I don't want anybody in the United States to feel unnecessary pain, but I especially don't want the veteran to feel unnecessary pain. And it just, and Kimmer's right. Kimmer's right, unfortunately. There's too many people that don't care enough about the veterans, and they're led by today's Democrat Party. We'll be back.
Xtra 106.3 is proud to be a community station that shares your values. This is your station, talking about issues and stories that are most important to you and your family. Stream us live on our all-new app in crystal clear HD, and always live on your radio at 106.3 FM.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for Howard Brothers and Steel. Are your fall projects piling up? Let's stay ahead of every cleanup job with the power and durability of Steel Power equipment. From blowers that clear your yard in no time to chainsaws and trimmers that make fall work easy, Steel has the tools built to last season after season. And when you're ready to gear up, head to Howard Brothers, your trusted Steel dealer. Their team will help you find exactly what will make your fall jobs feel effortless. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Steel and Howard Brothers.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Fall is in the air, and Central Heating and Air Conditioning is making it the perfect time to upgrade your comfort. For a limited time, you get up to $2,100 in rebates and 60 months, 0% financing with approved credit. That's right, savings up front and no interest for 5 whole years. A brand new carrier system from Central delivers dependability, efficiency, and comfort every family deserves. Central Heating and Air Conditioning have set the standard in heating and cooling for over 3 generations. And now's your chance to bring that comfort home with the best savings of the season. These dual incentives don't come around often, so act now. Call 770-GET-HEAT today. That's 770-GET-HEAT. Or visit centralheat.com, centralheat.com. Upgrade your comfort, lock in your savings, and turn to your Atlanta carrier experts. Central Heating and Air Conditioning.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Thousands of of veterans across Georgia are missing out on the benefits they've earned through their service. The Warrior Alliance is changing that by connecting veterans and their families to life-changing resources and support. Tune into the Warrior Alliance Network, our podcast and radio show dedicated to helping veterans succeed after service. Join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. on Talk Radio 106.3 to hear inspiring veteran stories, discover free programs, and learn about career opportunities available to you. Subscribe to the Warrior Alliance YouTube channel today.
It's Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. In Atlanta, I'm going to be that guy and start talking about Christmas before the leaves are even done falling. Why? Because I want to share some seriously special gift ideas with you, and you should start thinking about them now. This season, D. Geller & Son is all about the magic of custom, personalized jewelry gifts. Something designed exclusively for your loved one that's as unique as them. We've been creating lifelong memories since 1939, and now you can create them right along with us. Whether it's a custom birthstone necklace and earring set, or that one-of-a-kind dream-worthy ring, with your sentiment and our expertise, we can make it happen. Why design it with D. Geller & Son? We're the experts. Add unbeatable value and the absolute best quality, and you have a memorable gift that'll last a lifetime. So let's make it personal. With your vision and our craftsmanship, let's plan ahead and make this holiday season unforgettable at D. Geller & Son Jewelers in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Affordable jewelry for everyone is at D. Geller & Son.
Hey, Atlanta, it's Mark from Atlanta Safe House. Just when you thought the country couldn't get any crazier, the Democrats surprised you. Shutting the government down for lame political reasons, liberals complaining of taking criminals and illegals off the street. When will this craziness stop? Well, in this crazy world, there is one place to go for peace of mind. Drop by Atlanta Safe House and let the safe experts help you select the safe to best protect your hard-earned valuables. Our brands include Browning, Fort Knox, Champion, and many more. So go by the showroom or go to atlantasafehouse.com.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Political violence cannot stand. And Xtra 106.3 will continue on as the conservative voice of reason in Atlanta. We'll speak our mind, protect our values, and stand up for each other responsibly. Count on the Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, The Kimmer, and the legend Neil Bortz to always have your back. Proud to be the conservative voice of Atlanta. Xtra 106.3 FM and the Xtra app.
I know some Democrat voters that need a lobotomy. Producer Joe's going to kill me. All right, folks, it's Xtra 106.3, The Kimmer Show, and this is Victor Armendariz filling in for The Kimmer. Folks, listen, if you want to know or learn more about me, and I could use the follows, I make no bones about it, folks. I don't like social media. I think social media is going to rot the brain. But because of what I do, I have to be on it. So I would appreciate if you guys would give me a follow. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on YouTube, just about anywhere, even on Twitter X or X Twitter or what used to be Twitter X. Yeah, that. You can find me there. I just spell it correct. ARMENDARIZ. Victor Armendariz Show. And you can find me. I'd appreciate the follow. Thanks. And listen, I'm having such a good time. I haven't even given out the phone number. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday, and I do like to do Anything Goes Friday. So you're more than welcome to call up. I don't care what you talk about. And if you disagree with me, you go to the front of the line. And Producer Joe, if somebody calls in, they disagree, you can put them right up front. We're top of the line. But you can call in, folks. It's 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. Feel free to give me a call. I'm a nice guy. I'm not mean. If you call me names, Producer Joe's going to hang up on you. So he has permission. But no, folks, we'll have some good time. We'll have fun. You can call in with anything you want. It's Anything Goes Friday. So I have an exclusive right now, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, the Victor Armendariz Show, every now and then I get these really cool exclusives. And I can send somebody from my team, and they are suave enough, as my dad would say, muy suave, muy suave. They're suave enough to get into places where they probably normally wouldn't be allowed in. So I had somebody, they made it into one of the after meetings from when Zoran Mondani won the election the other night. They were able to get in and pick up a recording of some of the things that were being said. So we're going to go there now. Let's listen to this. It's cut one, Producer Joe.
Durka, Muhammad Jihad, Haka Sherpa Sherpa, Bakala. Oh, Durka.
That I can't really translate that for you folks, but that's just some of the things that were going on in the Mondani after election meeting, celebration, whatever they were doing the other day. So if anybody knows what that is, you can call, and I'll bet you some of you know what movie that's from. You can call in and tell. We'll give you some swag if you do know that, and we'll do that for you. 404-741-1230. There you go. All right, folks. Man, I have so much I want to get to, but I gotta finishing up on the veterans thing, folks. Listen, I'm dead serious about that. If you've got the means to help a veteran today, it'll be it's the right thing to do. And I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. It doesn't matter how you vote. If you live in this country, you're an American. Well, let me put it. Let me rephrase that. If you're a citizen of this country and you're an American, you should want to help. I mean, it doesn't matter how you vote. You wouldn't get to vote if it weren't for the veteran. You wouldn't be speaking English if it wasn't for the United States veteran. All right? So do what you can to help. And it's not... There's a lot of people that are going to need help here until the Democrats can come to their senses. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, the reality of the matter right now is that the Democrats were emboldened the other night. They shouldn't be, but it does. The Democrats always, listen, folks. The only reason I can say things with such clarity when I analyze this stuff and to give you my opinion, the only reason I'm so confident in my opinion is because history is on my side. We would all do well to learn more from history, and the Democrat Party has a tendency, especially the last few years, they have a tendency to over jubilation. They have a night like they had the other night in blue state Virginia, blue state New Jersey, and they tend to think that the rest of the country thinks that way. They tend to think the rest of the country feels that way, and that's just not the case. And they're going to find out the hard way. But I have history on my side. Democrats will always think that they're better off than they think they are, and they learn the hard way. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go to the phones. We got a phone call. Go ahead.
Hi, it's Patrick.
Oh, go ahead, Patrick.
Hey, how you doing? AKA Tone Deaf up in Canton. I just wanted to say that Zomdami, everybody's saying, oh, he's going to ruin New York, and he is. I think we all know what's going to happen, but I think everybody needs to be sounding off that it may get better at first. He's going to be handing out free stuff, free Subway, free all this stuff. It's going to seem like things are a lot better, but, it's going to take 2 or 3 years for it to really go to crap like we all know it's going to. And then the media is going to cover for it. So when it does go to crap, they're going to blame Republicans or Trump or whatever they blame. No matter how bad it gets, we have to find a way to, point it out that, okay, yeah, it's probably going to get better at first, when you start giving away free stuff. But it's not sustainable, and we need to point out that in 2 or 3 years when we really need to compare to what it's like now.
Patrick, man, you're absolutely right. And boy, you Kimmer listeners are astute. Patrick, you make a great point. And I honestly don't think it's going to take 2 years or 3 years, because remember this, let me remind you, look how quickly Joe Biden, the dementia patient, messed up this country. It only took him about 9 to 10 months. And you can break things. And what people need to understand now that we're talking about that, Patrick, you can break things in about 10 months, but you can't fix them in 10 months. And that's why when people get mad at Trump right now, you can't be mad mad at Trump. You got to give him more time. And it's just like you can vote yourself into socialism, but try voting yourself out. It's a lot harder. And Patrick, you make a good point, though, because when the free stuff starts raining down, and when Mandami is the Santa Claus of New York City, and that's to me what the Democrat Party is of late. They're the Santa Claus Party. And as my dad would put it, the Santa Claus Party. When the free stuff starts raining down, Patrick is right, ladies and gentlemen. There's going to be a moment of pure ecstasy. There's going to be that few months of, oh, look, we're getting free bus rides, we're getting free. But Patrick, you know as well as I do, that's going to catch up with them. And when it does, it's going to be like a 5,000-pound snowball that's going to hit them. So Patrick, thank you for the call, man. So, folks, listen, it's a great point that Patrick makes. There will be a period of time that's like a honeymoon phase. When Mandami's able to just, and again, I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do to begin with. So there's going to be two things that happen here, folks, and listen to me well on this. There's going to be two things. Mandami is either going to get a clean slate. They're going to give him whatever he wants, and he's going to get some of this stuff passed, and it's going to look like a glory times for a few months. Or they're not going to be able to pass it as quickly as they want, and there's going to be some delays. Now, Mandami has about a grace period of probably 6 months or so to get some of this stuff implemented. If he doesn't, I think the left is going to turn on him because they're going to have their hand out going, where's my free stuff? Where's my free stuff? So this is going to be interesting. And Patrick, man, thanks again for the call because now you've got my mind going, because this is, and again, I look at things with common sense. I look at things with logic. And either Patrick is right and Mandami's going to be able to implement the free buses, the free grocery stores. He's going to get this stuff, and then people are going to have a few months of thinking, oh, the life is great. And then it's going to hit him like a brick wall. Or he's going to have trouble getting some of this stuff, and the people are going to be angry because they're not getting the free stuff. It's going to be fun to watch, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, just like the 2028 presidential season is going to be fun to watch, sit back and watch this train wreck that is going to be the Mandami Democrat show. So it's going to be, folks, listen, the only way I can really put this is if you like to watch a good movie that has climactic effects or a climactic ending, then you start watching this Mandami stuff because it's going to be a mess.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Atlanta Safe House.
Possible path forward. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. Senate Democrats have a new proposal to reopen government.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer offering a deal to pass a continuing resolution to end the shutdown.
We'd like to offer a simple proposal that would reopen the government and extend the ACA premium tax credits simultaneously.
Democrats want a one-year continuation of Affordable Care Act tax credits and to establish a bipartisan committee to continue negotiations on long-term reforms. But Republican Senator Steve Daines tells Fox
these subsidies are paid directly to the insurance companies. 20% of these subsidies are fraudulent.
He says the proposal from Democrats does nothing to end rising health care costs, and the tax credits only serve to increase costs.
Fox's Jill Nato in Washington. Earlier, President Trump again urging Senate Republicans to scrap the filibuster rule and its 60-vote threshold to advance bills.
Here's some of the things that we'd pass if we terminated the filibuster. Voter ID, no mail-in voting, no cash bail, no men and women's sports, no welfare for illegals.
Some Republicans remain concerned about what a future Democrat majority might do. The president says Democrats would end the filibuster even if Republicans don't. The U.S. Agriculture Department now says it's working to comply with a judge's order to fully cover food stamp benefits for November. In a memo obtained by Fox News, even as the administration appeals the ruling over the type and amount of funding available. Israel just confirming another transfer of remains from Gaza. if confirmed, as another hostage. That would leave 5 other dead hostages still in Gaza under phase 1 of a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. A mixed finish after a down day on Wall Street. The Dow up 74 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Oh.
Playing my tunes. Iron Maiden, they're going on tour next year, folks. They are going on tour. If you haven't seen them, you haven't seen rock and roll. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Kimmer Show. Welcome back. It's Xtra 106.3, Xtra 106.3. If you haven't got the app, get it, folks. Get the app. And no, I am not the Kimmer. He's a lot taller than I am. I am Victor Armendariz, your Mexican, not afraid to be American. Folks, I love filling in for the Kimmer, so thanks to him again. And if you want to find more about me, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I've got a little show. It's called The Victor Armendariz Show. It's on News Talk 95.1, Talk of the Mountains. Or you go to Spotify. Go to Spotify, and all of my shows will be on Spotify. So you can hear my show anytime you want. And in fact, you'll hear this show again because we'll put it on there as well. And I think it'll be on the Xtra 106.3 website. So it'll probably be there too. So listen, I love being here, and we've got a lot more to get to. But I'm going to go straight to the phone before I go on my next rant. So let's go. Who we got, Producer Joe?
We've got Odie.
Odie, go ahead, man.
¿Qué pasa, Señor Armendariz?
Yo pasa muy well.
Want to get your opinion on busting the filibuster. I've always been against it, but Trump's brought out a point. The Democrats will do it the first chance they get and pack the court and make D.C. and Puerto Rico a state, et cetera, et cetera. Now I'm beginning to think maybe we ought to beat them to the punch. What's your opinion?
So, Odie, man, I'm so glad you... Man, see, here's the thing. Odie, you get an A+. And if we've got some swag, maybe Producer Joe can take your information because you deserve some swag. Because you know why? Because it is the job of the callers to make me look good, and you're going to make me look good right now. Listen, this filibuster thing is a great question. I'm like you. I've always been against it. I don't want to break this up, but then again, I'm a Constitution guy, and I'm pretty sure that nowhere in the Constitution do you find filibuster. I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. But here's the thing. The minute the Republicans do it, you're giving the gateway to the Democrats. So I almost, my gut feeling is I don't want the Republicans to be the first ones to do it. Now, I do agree with President Trump, and I agree with you that the Democrats are going to do it. And you know why we know that? You know why Trump knows that, and he can say that with authority? Or as Cartman says, he can say it with authority. It's because it was a short few years ago the Democrats tried it. I don't know if you remember this, Odie, but the Democrats a few years ago, they tried to kill the filibuster, and it was only because of maybe 3, 4, 5 Democrats that they weren't able to do it. There were actually, and I don't get to say this often, but there was actually a few Democrats that were smart enough to say, no, we can't do this. But the Democrats already tried it. Schumer tried this. Chuck U. Schumer, and I said Chuck U. Schumer. He tried to do this because they wanted to stack the court, like you said, and they want to create 2 more states because if they can create 2 more states, then they're going to get 4 more senators. And then what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? What will happen? We'll never have the Senate again. You'll always have a Democrat. You'll have one party control, just like in the. Okay, see, Odie, this is why you're going to make me look good. If you want to see what a one-party system looks like, just look to California, look to New York City, look to cities like Baltimore, New Orleans. Just look at some of these cities that are only Democrat control. Their Democrats have supermajorities. They control everything, and they've controlled it for decades. Look at these cities. They're all rank at the bottom of the list. They're bottom in education. The only thing they're number 1 is how bad they're taxing their residents. If you want the country to go down that road, a one-party system, and just really, you want to talk about fundamentally changing this country. If the Democrats explode the filibuster, which Odie, I agree with you, and I agree with President Trump, the first chance they get, if they get enough power, they're going to do it. So I can relate to President Trump when he says, hey, let's just go ahead and do it. They're going to do it anyway. But the reason why I'm hesitant, the reason why I'm still hesitant is because I do think there's still enough people to block it. I think there's enough senators that will block it. Like right now, if the Republicans tried to bust it, they don't have enough votes to do it. Because guess who's going to stop them? Believe it or not, you would have Democrats that are going to cross over and stop it. But I'm just telling you, I know it doesn't make sense because the Democrats want to do it. But see, what you've got to understand, the Democrats want to destroy every system we have when it's to their advantage. Right now, it's not to their advantage. The Democrat Party thinks by hurting people right now, by hurting air traffic controllers, by hurting if you can, this is how the Democrat, look, folks, listen, don't doubt me on this. Do not doubt me on this. The Democrat Party looks at you. If you can afford to fly right now, they look at you as, well, you've got money. You may not be one of our most best voters or most reliable, but most best. Yeah, I just said that. You may not be one of their most reliable voters. This is how the Democrat Party looks at you right now. So if you're flying around, you might be one of those icky businessmen. You might be a capitalist. Well, you can afford to fly. So if the Democrat Party, cause you pain right now, well, it's not going to hurt us. We're just going to gain strength. The Democrat Party actually thinks by hurting American citizens right now with a shutdown that they're getting more power. This is how they look at it. And if you doubt me on this, go look what Dick Durbin said the other day. Go look what that Murphy dude in New Jersey said. He actually said, if we capitulate and we open the government, and for those of you in Rio Linda, that means if you give in, if the Democrats give in, I shouldn't say that. If the Democrats give in and they open the government, this Murphy dude in New Jersey let the cat out of the bag. This guy said that, that'll damage the Democrat brand. See, the Democrats have a brand, and right now they think that because of their far left, because of the AOCs, and Odie, thank you for the call. You're sending me on this rant, which is why you're making me look good. But your AOCs and your Ayanna Presleys and your Omars and your Shaheebs and the Crockett's, the new people who are taking over the left and taking them to the far socialist side of the Democrat Party. They're controlling things right now. They're the ones that are controlling Chuck Schumer. And Chuck Schumer's having to play this game where, Chuck Schumer would have never voted this guy. I mean, under the Biden administration, Chuck Schumer and the Democrats voted 13 times to open the government keep it open with a clear resolution. And here we are. The only difference right now is Trump's the president and not Biden. And the difference is Chuck Schumer's so afraid of losing his Senate seat that he's going to do whatever AOC tells him to do. The dirty little secret, Chuck Schumer, I got news for you, Chuck. AOC's coming for you no matter what you do right now. No matter what you do, the left is coming for you. And if you don't believe me on that, you just go look at, and I can't remember which representative it was yesterday, I believe, who somebody asked, so do you guys think, now that Pelosi's retiring, do you think Chuck Schumer needs to go? And they basically said, oh yeah, Chuck needs to watch, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, needs to watch his back. They are coming for you, Chuck. No matter what you do, they're coming for you. They want you gone. AOC, when she can't get the nomination for 2028, she's coming for that Senate seat. And the only reason Pelosi is retiring, go look it up, folks. There is a left-wing transgender moonbat. I should be nice. There's a dude that is going to primary Nancy if she stays in, and she doesn't want to go out that way, so she's retiring. You got to always look at, there's always a method to the Democrats' madness. Nancy Pelosi is not just going to walk away from power. Why? She's 180 years old. If she didn't walk away last time, why would she walk away this time? The only reason she's going to retire is because there's somebody that can beat her, because he's to the left of her. And so they're pushing her out, and they're going to push Chuck out. But for this filibuster thing, I know I'm getting winded here. But on the filibuster, Odie, I agree. I part of me is like, yes, President Trump, let's push it. Let's see if the Republicans. The problem is the Republicans don't have enough votes to do it. That's what it comes down to. They don't have enough votes to bust the filibuster. But then again, the other part of me is like, my goodness, that's going to open the door for the Democrats to do it, even though they are going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you've got to understand, and why we can't allow the Democrats to get total control of the Senate and the House. Because if they do, your life isn't going to get better. It's going to get a lot tougher, because the rest of the country is going to turn into California and New York, and you don't want that to happen. Because what will happen, and this is what would happen if the Democrats bust up the filibuster. If they get enough power, and they're going to do it. Donald Trump is right. Donald Trump is 100% right. I don't care if you like Donald Trump, if you hate him, whatever. It doesn't matter. He's 100% right on this filibuster bit. And the Democrats, if they get the chance, if they get enough power, they will kill the filibuster and stack the court and create 2 more states, and they're going to have one party rule in this country. And we will not be the beneficiaries of it.
It's time for the Bortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast's premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
What a week. A communist with a great smile is elected to be the mayor of New York. And he's claiming a mandate. But listen to this. Out of all of the votes cast in this New York mayoral election, and that's over 2 million votes, a margin of 16,000 voters. Out of 2 million, 16,000 was the margin of victory for Mondami. That, according to him, is a mandate. But if that doesn't frighten you enough, you need to know that the climate activists are now after your pets. The eco-radicals have taken 2 recent hits. Number one, we've learned that this whole thing about sea level rise is a fraud. Virtually all evidence that the sea levels are rising have come from computer models, while actual measurements of sea level have shown that it ain't so. So the eco-zealots need a new cause. Maybe it's your pet and all of the CO2 that comes from your pets. Pets, dogs, cats, it turns out, as reported by the Associated Press, account for 1.3% of all CO2 output. So looking into the future, where's that going to leave us with our pets as these nut jobs push their luck on a new front? Maybe there will be a weight limit on pets. No dogs over 20 pounds, because it could hasten the end of the world. Or maybe the number of pets. Or maybe limit pets to those that do not emit CO2, if there are any. Gas stoves, grocery bags, plastic straws, and now puppies and kittens. Fun times ahead, folks. Neil Bortz, Xtra 106.3.
Some remodelers are too big to care, others too small to count on. Southern Exteriors hits the sweet spot. Big company buying power with hometown heart. Hey, it's Tug, and I trust them for siding, roofing, gutters, windows, and doors. Over 1,000 projects a year, top materials fast, prices fair, and jobs on track. Plus 25 years of true local care. Call 8779-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co. That's southernexteriors.co.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Xtra 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station.
Compare Donald Trump to Hitler. The media is silent. Call a Democrat a socialist. The media gets upset. The media has to earn the respect of the American people. it has utterly failed to do so.
Atlanta Talk Radio legends are only on Xtra 106.3.
Hey, don't get mad at me, but it's that time of year when everybody, we're talking about health insurance open enrollment for 2026. I know, don't blame me. Changes hitting your insurance and costing you money. Nationwide, Obamacare premiums are up almost 30%. The extra subsidies, and at the end of the year, Congress has to do, well, yeah, that's rich. In Georgia, sticker prices up 35% before any subsidies. On a $600 plan, you're looking at a couple of $100 a month. You ought to go to the health insurance doctor. You can enroll today without all the chaos. You'll take care of. His name's Stephen, the health insurance doctor. You start with non-Obamacare options from multiple carriers, not just one company. He knows them all, comparisons side by side. A lot of them have nationwide PPO, zero deductible stuff, zero co-pays. He has that Georgia Access business. I don't know what that is, but he does, luckily. He can stack his proprietary corporate-style benefits to beef up the coverage and bring the cost down. He wins awards for this stuff. I'm telling you, he's been doing this for 16 years. He checks doctors, prescriptions, all that stuff. Total cost, gets you what you need. Holy smokes. Here's the deal. You can save 60% over other plans. You lose a few extra grand to me. You'd love that. Okay, here's the deal. Here's the number. 678-523-0759. healthinsurancedoctor.net.
Are you looking for something simple but delicious, sweet but also savory? Discover Schumann Farms Sweet Onions. Schumann Farms is a third-generation family farm with the Real Sweet brand sweet onions. Whether you're grilling, sautéing, or simply adding a fresh crunch to your salad, Schumann Farms has you covered. Look for Schumann Farms Real Sweet brand sweet onions at your grocery store and taste the difference for yourself. Schumann Farms, the Georgia family farm growing tradition and the world's sweetest onions.
Hey, this is Tom Mitchell, the Honest Car Guy. So things are deceiving sometimes, and it's hard to explain how much money I can really save you. I've saved people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, on a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20 grand. I mean, let's be realistic. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000, but it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize, the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%, or really it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. We found a better way for customers to buy a car, an honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee. We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal. So the beauty of what we do is we don't put you on a car that we have to sell. We put you on a car that you want. And at the Honest Car Guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car. Call 1-844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Did you know that there are over 34,000 lawyers in the state of Georgia? Yet despite that huge number, Bruce Hagan was recently named by his peers as one of the top 100 lawyers in the state. Do you know who is not among the top 100 lawyers in the state? Some clown standing on top of an 18-wheeler. Those kind of lawyers may make flashy ads, but they're just marketers, not real lawyers. If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need Bruce Hagan, a real lawyer who tries cases and wins. Call Bruce Hagan. He's the real deal for your injury case. Hagan-law.com.
What a great team. I may have to rewrite that as the state of New York. It's a great talk. Folks, you are tuned into Xtra 106.3. Xtra 106.3 is the Kimmer Show. I am not the Kimmer. I'm filling in for the Kimmer. Victor Armendariz. You can find me all over social media, folks. Just look up the Victor Armendariz Show. And I'd appreciate it if you'd follow me and follow me on Spotify and all those good things. If you ever have a question for me, folks, and you can't get on the air, you can always hit me on the emails. Now, it takes me a while to get to the emails, so don't email me and think I'm going to respond right away. I just can't. I can't physically do it. But I will. I will get to it eventually. So you can always email me, armendariz2010@gmail.com. Armendariz, ARMENDARIZ 2010@gmail.com. And you can find more about me. Like I said, look me up on social media. I've got a show, Victor Armendariz Show. It's on News Talk 95.1 Talk of the Mountains, and you can find me on Spotify. And then, when you're lucky, you hear me fill in for the Kimmer when the Kimmer is generous enough to allow me to do it here on Xtra 106.3. And if you haven't got the app yet, make sure you get the app, Xtra 106.3. And also, folks, listen, We are in the 4 o'clock hour, and those of you who are frequent listeners, you know the 4 o'clock hour is sponsored by Atlanta Safe House. I have heard the Kimmer talk about this so much, and this is one of the things I've got to get this Christmas is another safe. I have one safe, folks. I have a bunker, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to tell you where I live, but I have a bunker in the mountains. I've got some property. I ran away from the city a few months ago, and it's the best thing I ever did. I've got some land. I've got a bunker that I hide out at, and I've got one safe, but I need another. And the Atlanta Safe House, that's where you need to go. And if you don't think you need a safe, trust me, you do. Go visit those dudes at atlantasafehouse.com. You can visit the website, atlantasafehouse.com, or just go see them. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. The Kimmer, like I said, I hear them talk about the Atlanta Safe House all the time. They sound like a bunch of great guys. So, and I've even heard their ads. And when a company is secure enough to make fun of the left, that's a company that I like to frequent. So, Atlanta Safe House. Go check them out. AtlantaSafeHouse.com. All right, folks. I want to give a shout out here real quick. I want to talk about, I mentioned earlier the Xtra 103 and 680 The Fan. The of course, they very proud to honor our nation's bravest at the Veterans Day Golf Classic that happened today in Tucker at the Heritage Golf Links. I want to give some more shout outs to the sponsors that made that possible. Georgia Drive Chevy. Corona Extra. Corona. It's my people. My people were there. Sweet. Andre, this is, a lot of you people will say Henry's Bakery. I think it might be Henry's Bakery. Bakery and Deli. Yes, Henry's. Crown Royal Canadian Whiskey. I'm not a whiskey drinker, folks. I don't drink at all. But if you do, have yourself some Crown. They're a sponsor, Crown Royal Canadian Whiskey. Patron Tequila. Yeah, more of my people were there. You can't find tequila and not find my people. And I can say that because, they're one of me or I'm one of them or something like that. So, and Surfside Iced Tea and Lemonade Vodka. Some great sponsors there, folks. Some great sponsors. So I'll mention more as we go on through the show. But I got to point those companies out because they're willing to support our veterans. And anybody that's willing to support the veterans, man, you're a friend of mine. You're a friend of the Victor Armendariz Show if you support veterans. Folks, listen, I could go on and just tell some great stories about some great veterans. One of my good friends, he's racing cars now. See, you get to do cool stuff after you're a veteran. You join the military, you do your time, you get out, and then you can do some really cool stuff. And I got a buddy down in Florida that races cars. He was an old Special Forces dude. And I'll tell you what, you don't want to mess with him. So, on the racetrack or off the racetrack. All right, folks, I got some other things I want to get to, but I saw a story pop up during the break, and it reminds me of a question that I had on one of my shows a few weeks ago. What is going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene? And I know there's a lot of listeners. In fact, I think Odie was calling from Canton, and I don't know if that's her area. I could be wrong. Her area is somewhere, maybe it's Rome, Georgia, somewhere around there. Okay, it's Rome, Georgia area that Marjorie Taylor Greene is a representative. And now listen, folks, I don't have anything against Marjorie Taylor Greene. I know she says some pretty crazy things or has in the past, but for the most part, she votes for tax cuts. She votes for smaller government. For me, if you vote for small taxes or lowering taxes, if you vote for smaller government, if you vote for capitalism, if you vote for less government and more independence, then I'm going to be okay with you for the most part. I don't pay so much attention to what you're saying or when you're trying to get clicks. A lot of what politicians do, it's clickbait. Politicians, they need your money just like anybody else does, and they need your clicks and they need your follows and they need all of that stuff. Look, AOC is the queen at it. Say what you will about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Say what you will about her. But the girl knows how to raise money. Holy cow. You want to know why Chuck U. Schumer's so scared? First of all, Chuck Schumer, you are 150 years old, dude. Retire and go enjoy the last part of your life with your family or something, dude. You let the power go. You can't take the power with you. You can't. You know what? I got to do this. I'm going to do this. I have I have a story. Let's do story time real quick. We should have got some music, Producer Joe, for story time. I don't have it, but I'm going to do a story, and this is going to be an example of what just happened in New York City. Okay, but I'm going to do this for Chuck Schumer, and folks, I do not wish ill will on any politician. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't wish ill will, but I want to tell this little story, and this is basically what just happened in New York City. Okay, so. Turn up your radios and cuddle in with me for story time. So, there you go. This is great. All right, story time. Story time with Victor Armendariz. Okay, so there was a politician. And this politician, he served for 30 years, 40 years, and served his country and served. And when I mean by that, he was elected and served in the halls of Congress. Well, the day came that he finally passed away. And this politician made it right up straight to the gates of the pearly gates. And they looked at him and he said, well, can I enter the pearly gates of heaven? And they said, we have rules up here. So St. Peter looked at him and said, we have rules up here, Mr. Politician. You get to spend 24 hours in hell, and then you're going to spend 24 hours in heaven. And once you do that, then you're going to get to decide whether you want to stay in heaven or you want to stay in hell. And so this politician went, okay. So he goes, well, all right, well, where do I have to go first? And St. Peter said, we're going to send you to hell first. So St. Peter jumps in the elevator in the sky and he hits the down button and down. I mean, we're talking fast elevator, zips down. I mean, down to the bowels of hell. The doors open. And to this politician's surprise, he steps out to the greenest pastures of golf courses. No, he did not see the Kimmer, but he's out there and he's on the golf course, most beautiful golf course you've ever seen. And he sees some fellow past years politicians that he used to work with, and they all come running up and they're shaking his hand and they're welcome. Oh, we're so glad you're here. And they all get to reminisce. So for 24 hours, he plays golf. He reminisces with his old compatriots, and then they go and they eat the most lavish dinner you've ever seen. And even the devil comes up and sits and has dinner, and by golly, the devil's a nice guy. Is this possible? Could the devil be so nice? And they eat caviar, the finest wine. They have the best steak, the best seafood. It's amazing. And then before you know it, time's up. And he's escorted back, and he says bye to all his friends, gets back on the elevator, and zoom. I mean, it's like Scotty calling you back to the Enterprise. Zooms right back up to heaven in front of the pearly gates. And St. Peter says, well, okay, well, now you're going to go into heaven, 24 hours in heaven. And the politician steps off and he goes into heaven, and well, it's like, wow, he can jump from cloud to cloud. The harps are playing, there's people singing, and he's just jumping from cloud to cloud without a care in the world. It's like, wow, okay, this is heaven. Well, then that 24 hours goes by pretty fast. So, boom, he finds himself right back in the front of the pearly gates, and St. Peter looks at him and he goes, okay, you've been 24 hours in hell, 24 hours in heaven. What do you choose? And this politician looks and he goes, I never thought I would say this. I never thought I would do this, but I'm going to choose hell. And St. Peter says, okay, you've chosen. And in the elevator he went, and down, and the elevator opens, and the politician steps out, and it's the most barren, desolate, awful place. There's fires burning there. It's just terrible. And his friends that he played golf with before and had such lavish dinner were in raggedy clothes, and they're just walking around picking up trash. And as soon as they picked up trash, more trash fell to the ground. And he's looking around going, what happened? Where's the golf course? Where's the dinners? And the devil walked up to him and put his arm around him and said, well, yesterday we were campaigning. Today you voted. And that, my friends, is what happened in New York City. You see, you got to pay attention to what these people tell you. See, yesterday they were campaigning, and today he voted. Folks, I hope you get the moral of that story. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I am Victor Armendariz.
If you listen to Extra, share it with a friend. It's how we grow and how we can reach everyone in the Atlanta community that believes in the American way of life. If you value the station, help us grow by telling someone about the Xtra 106.3 app.
Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. or listen to the podcast anywhere. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
True Prep's at it again with even more in-store specials. They have the Glock 19 Gen 4 and Glock 19X in stock today while supplies last. In addition, they have great deals on 15 and 33-round Glock 9mm magazines through November 12th. Other deals include the Radical Firearms AR-15 for only $399.99 and some of the lowest prices on 9mm and .223 ammo you will find in Atlanta. Check them out in-store at True Prep or on Cobb Parkway in Marietta, or check out their full list of these and other deals at trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com.
Time now for the Retire Wise Report. James Parker here with financial advisor Sean Maloney, founder and CEO of Retire Wise. Many people assume their taxes will automatically go down once they retire and stop collecting paychecks. Sean, is this a dangerous assumption?
It can be, because you know what? Lower taxes in retirement can be a myth. It's not always true, right? Remember, up to 85% of your Social Security benefits could be taxed, right? Your traditional IRA and 401k income is 100% taxable, so that needs to be accounted for. And that's why it's so important to find ways to reduce or eliminate your taxes wherever possible.
Tell us about the offer you have for our listeners.
Hey, look, now is the time to start looking ahead and identifying your tax liabilities in retirement. Well, we have a great resource for you guys. We have what's called the Retire Happy Framework Toolkit. You can get a copy today by calling or texting the word WISE to 770-802-2200. My team helped put together this just for you, and it's a complimentary guide. And the center of this is a copy of my latest book, The Priority of Retirement. It has chapters on everything from Social Security to investments to income planning. We include guides in there as well as on strategies for income planning, for taxes, and even dealing with recessions in retirement, among other things. So if you want to get this information in your hands today, call or text the word WISE to 770-802-2200. That's 770-802-2200.
Take advantage of this offer. Get your Retire Happy Framework today. Just text WISE to 770-802-2200. And the team at Retire Wise will get you your Retire Happy Framework right away. So just call or text WISE to 770-802-2200. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Firm does not provide tax services.
I'm Michelle Stovall, and our company has been family owned and operated for 75 years. Check us out at StovallINC.com, or better yet, stop by our newly opened 11th store at 9500 Union Hill Road in Canton. At Stovall, we supply you with all your landscaping project needs, completely hassle-free down to delivery. Been dreaming of an outdoor kitchen, fireplace, or other custom paver project? We partner with Keystone Hardscapes for all your beautiful high-end concrete needs. We look forward to making your landscape dreams come true. Stovall has it all.
You and your buddy. You've been through a lot with each other. The ups and the downs. He's been with you every morning, noon, and night. You've traveled the world together. Heck, he was even with you on your first big date. But have you noticed he's struggling lately? Not performing on the job. He can't even stand up straight anymore. He's wanting to cry out for help, but just doesn't know how. He needs Dr. Deal and Total Body Therapy of Georgia. They can give him the gift of good posture this year, help him stand proud and become all he was meant to be. Now, take him by the hand, look him in the eye and say, I appreciate you, little fella, and we're going to get you some help. We're going to call 404-777-1911. We're going to visit stopmyed.com. We are going to say goodbye to erectile dysfunction forever. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. It's a hard conversation to have, but it's one worth having. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Online at stopmyed.com.
There's a movie I've seen about 1,000 gazillion times. The first one and the second one. It's great. All right, folks, this is Victor Armendariz filling in for the Kimmer on Xtra 106.3. And yes, you might call it the danger zone. I'll tell you what, if I ever... I don't do guests, folks. For those of you who are familiar with my show and listen to me on a regular basis, I don't do guests. I just rarely. But maybe one day we'll have a Danger Zone segment, and we'll bring in a guest that's on the far left. Maybe we can get AOC. Maybe. What do you think, Producer Joe? Think we can get AOC in here?
Honestly, probably not.
You're probably right. She's my people. Maybe I can use that angle.
Oh, that's smart.
See, us Hispanics, we tend to stick together, sort of. So I would love to do it. I'll tell you what. I know it's not going to happen. I would actually even like to sit down and have, maybe I'll put this out there for the next time I fill in. If Marjorie Taylor Greene, if you want to come in and sit down and have a segment with me, I would love to ask you some questions because I and this is what I was getting to before. I don't know. I mean, she used to be a reliable conservative. And again, I know she says some things, but whatever, folks. Listen, politicians are going to do things to get clickbait. They're going to do things to get followers. They're going to do things to get money from you. You've got to understand a politician's job. I know you think a politician's job is to represent we the people, and it should be. But what today's politicians have done, they've turned Washington into one big business. It's one big business. So if you get elected today, this is what happens. A politician runs around and campaigns, and they get elected. The first thing they do when they get sworn in is start working on their re-election campaign. This is probably going to sound cynical, but I'm right. A politician will get elected and immediately start working on their re-election campaign. Immediately start trying to raise money. If a politician put as much time and effort into creating policy or working on policy or trying to convince their fellow members of the House and the Senate to get behind a policy that actually is going to help the American people, if they would spend as much time doing that as they do raising money, well, then my goodness, this would be a better country. It'd be a better country. And this is both sides. It's the Republicans and Democrats. I'm sorry to say, if you are a career politician, they are more concerned about raising money and getting to that next election than they are about helping you. We the people. They should. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, and I get on this tangent quite a bit. I do it quite a bit. And those of you who heard me, you've heard me say this before. Our founding fathers never intended for politics to be a career. The fact that Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi can be sitting... Nancy Pelosi... Come on, folks. Is she on her third face now? Gosh, stop it, Victor. I should be nice. But Nancy Pelosi's 100-something years old. Bernie Sanders, 100-something years old. Chuck Schumer right there with them. I mean, look at the number of politicians. And a lot of these are in the Democrat Party, and some of them are in the Republican side. I mean, look, you got Lindsey Graham. You've got Mitch McConnell on the Republican side. These people should not be in office anymore. You've been there for 50 freaking years. Our founding fathers, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I love about history. Everything you need to know about the future of this country lies in the ashes of history. Everything. Listen to me. Everything that you want to know about the future of this country lies in the ashes of history. Because history tends to repeat itself because no one wants to learn from it. And if you just go do a little research, and I recommend DuckDuckGo, folks. If you go, make your search engine DuckDuckGo. And the thing about DuckDuckGo, they're not going to follow you. They're not going to add you to death or algorithm you to death. They're just going to, you search something, they're going to put up articles. You can read them, and then you can decide. You can make the decision. They don't try to steer you in one direction. But if you do a search into the founding fathers and the writings of the founding fathers, what were the founding fathers' opinions on representation of this country when they looked at the House and they looked at the Senate and they looked at people, when they wrote about somebody being elected to the House and someone being elected to the Senate? What did they say back then? Well, they wrote about it. They were like, we should change our leaders and our representatives. We should change them constantly. Now, I'm paraphrasing, folks, but this is what our founding fathers believed. They believed that our body in the House and our body in the Senate, and I say ours because they represent us. Look, we need to get back, and again, you'll find this in history. It used to be the House represented the people. The Senate represented the states. Every state in this country should have representation in Washington. But you know what the sad truth about it is? Right now, there are foreign countries that have more representation in Washington than our own states. And I know some of you are going, but Victor, I didn't learn that in school. Well, I know. If you went to a government school, you didn't learn any of this. Now, I make fun of government schools, but I myself am a product of government schools, so don't get mad at me. But government schools, look, I'm on the wrong side of old. So when I was in a government school, it's a little bit different than they are today. The government schools today, and you may know it as a public school. I don't call them public schools, folks, because they're government schools. They're run by the government. And most things run by the government, they're not going to end well for you. It's going to end well for the government, but not for you. And what's the problem with government education? Well, government education is being controlled by too much from Washington. How on earth do you think that these people in Washington are going to be able to educate your kids? Well, they're not, and that's not their goal. Their goal is to produce a bunch of nice little government workers who are going to vote Democrat and be dependent. And we don't want that. But that's the problem. That's why you'll hear me rail against the education system. I am 100%. Look, I was Trump before Trump was when it comes to the Department of Education. I have been calling for the shutdown of the Department of Education for years and years and years. There needs to be you can't find Department of Education anywhere in the Constitution. It is not the job of the federal government to educate your child. That belongs to the states. That's a deal that needs to be made with the parents and the state we're talking on the smallest municipal level where you are. And the only thing the federal government should do, and the state should be doing this, is be behind school vouchers, be behind charter schools, be on the side of homeschooling, be on the side of private schools. If you're a family and you don't have kids, why is your taxpayer money going? Why is your tax dollars going to a school? I mean, that's crazy. And if you are a family and you have a child and they're in a failing school and you move because you want to get them to a better school, the tax dollars should follow the student. The tax dollars shouldn't come from just because of where you live, your zip code. Tax dollars, if they're going to be allocated for education, they need to follow the student, not the zip code. That's just common sense. This is just logic. But but this is what I mean. The goal of education from the government in the government eyes is not to overeducate. Their goal is not to get the best of the best. Their goal is to get a mediocre bunch of students that can barely read and that are going to be dependent on the government, because if you're dependent on government, my friends, they have perpetual power. And you may say, boy, that's a cynical way to look at things, Victor. But folks, it's not. It's not, because it's happening. It's absolutely happening. When you have young people coming out of college right now and they're voting for socialism because they don't know the history of socialism, well, then there's a problem with the education system. All right, folks, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being me. We'll be back.
Xtra 106.3 app is your live connection to the station, streaming free across Georgia. But it's also loaded with all our original shows and podcasts. Listen to exclusive shows from Janelle King, Ben Burnett, and so many more. Grab the Xtra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check them out online at atlturfco.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Fall is in the air, and Central Heating and Air Conditioning is making it the perfect time to upgrade your comfort. For a limited time, you get up to $2,100 in rebates and 60 months, 0% financing with approved credit. That's right, savings up front and no interest for 5 whole years. A brand new carrier system from Central delivers dependability, efficiency, and comfort every family deserves. Central Heating and Air Conditioning have set the standard in heating and cooling for over 3 generations. And now's your chance to bring that comfort home with the best savings of the season. These dual incentives don't come around often, so act now. Call 770-GET-HEAT today. That's 770-GET-HEAT. Or visit centralheat.com, centralheat.com. Upgrade your comfort, lock in your savings, and turn to your Atlanta carrier experts. Central Heating and Air Conditioning.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for Howard Brothers and Steel. Are your fall projects piling up? Let's stay ahead of every cleanup job with the power and durability of Steel Power equipment. From blowers that clear your yard in no time to chainsaws and trimmers that make fall work easy, Steel has the tools built to last season after season. And when you're ready to gear up, head to Howard Brothers, your trusted Steel dealer. Their team will help you find exactly what will make your fall jobs feel effortless. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Steel and Howard Brothers.
Thousands of veterans across Georgia are missing out on the benefits they've earned through their service. The Warrior Alliance is changing that by connecting veterans and their families to life-changing resources and support. Tune into the Warrior Alliance Network, our podcast and radio show dedicated to helping veterans succeed after service. Join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. on Talk Radio 106.3 to hear inspiring veteran stories, discover free programs, and learn about career opportunities available to you. Subscribe to the Warrior Alliance YouTube channel today.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
That's another great tune. If you don't know this tune, folks, it's called Hail to the King. This is another one of my New York songs. Because you guys got yourself a king in New York. You know, it's funny. It really is funny to hear the Democrats do their little no king dance and talk about Donald Trump, President Trump being a king. Here again is the lack of just simple education, the lack of history. President Trump, again, I don't care what you feel about him. I don't care what you think about him. It doesn't matter. Just look at policy. And President Trump is out there. He wants to cut taxes. He wants to give up power. He wants to cut the power of the federal government and give it back to the people, because whenever you cut taxes, you're cutting the power of the federal government. And if you want to shrink the size of government, which what does Donald Trump talk about? Doge. What is he implemented? He's implemented Doge. What does it do? It's trying to trim the federal government. It wants to root out the waste. And every Democrat has a problem with that. Why? Your taxpayer dollars. You work your tail off so the government can point a gun to your head and say, you owe this much taxes and you better pay it. Because if you don't, we'll seize everything you have, so you have to pay it. And then those tax dollars are wasted by politicians on all kinds of things. And one of the things they've done over the years is grow and grow and grow the size of government. Now, this is, again, if you go back to the Founding Fathers and read the Federalist Papers, go read the Hamilton, read Jefferson. These guys were young dudes when this country was formed, and they had some pretty amazing writings. Washington, Hancock, go back and read some of this stuff. But they never envisioned a big, huge, all-in-powerful federal government. They never envisioned that. It was the opposite of what they envisioned. They envisioned a small federal government and then all 50 states. That's your little democracies. Your democracies in this country are your 50 little states, and some large, some small. But your 50 states, that's where democracy is happening. That's where you vote on, you should be voting on everything. You should be participating. And then you've got our federal system. We have an electoral college for a reason, and it's absolutely brilliant. Another one of the brilliant things the Founding Fathers did. So that's why we are a republic. On the federal level, we're a republic. We're not for all intents and purposes. And again, folks, if you doubt me, I'll just go look this stuff up for yourself. When people say democracy, see, this is something that you need to do, and this is something you should do all the time. When a Democrat comes to you and screams, democracy, democracy, Donald Trump is going to kill democracy, the Republicans are going to kill democracy, you need to turn to whatever Democrat's telling you that and go, define democracy. Have them define it for you. Because I'll give you a little historical lesson here, folks. If you haven't been able to tell yet, I am a student of history, and I love history. And if you go back to the 80s, when we were battling the Soviet Union in the Cold War, and when we were dealing with and dealing with a growing and Soviet Union, they were growing, they were spreading communism, we're trying to, and then thank God for Ronald Reagan, because he put the brakes on that. But when we were going through that, the Soviets used to say, we want peace just like you do. We are for peace. Just like Ronald Reagan, we are for peace. The Soviet Union, Moscow, they would say this. Good old Putin, Putin is not a good guy, folks. He wasn't a good guy back then. He ain't a good guy now. Back then, Putin was KGB. Now, I could tell you a story. Listen, folks, this is something here that you guys would never dream that little old Victor Armendariz was about to tell you. My father, the Mexican dude that came here to this country and worked his way up the ladder, he was interrogated by Putin, the KGB dude, in Moscow. And I'll maybe another show when I fill in for the Kimmer, I will tell you guys this story. But yes, my own father, the Mexican dude who came to this country and had to learn English, worked 3 jobs at a time, 4 jobs at a time, worked his way up the corporate ladder, and ended up retiring as CFO of a company. He used to travel. He had to travel to Moscow, and he was actually interrogated by Putin. So trust me when I tell you, Putin wasn't good then, and he ain't good now. So, all right. You know what, folks? I call on Fridays. It's anything goes. So callers are allowed to interrupt me. All right. Who we got?
Marco.
You said that. I know. Marco, go ahead, buddy.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
I just wanted to call in because I looked out my window and saw the Statue of Liberty was packing up a bag and leaving. So I heard you earlier about the Mondami equation. I
take it you're calling from New York.
Yep. Wow. 0 equals 0 in the Mondami world.
Well, listen, first of all, Marco, I assume you're listening in New York. You're a listener of the Victor Armendariz Show, and I want to thank you for tuning into the Kimmer Show to hear me. So thank you for that, and I hope you become a Kimmer listener as well up there in New York. So you're up there in New York. Tell me what is going on with this Mondami thing? I mean, how do you see it? How's this going to work out?
It is the middle of Baghdad, and
already?
I got to tell you, they already took over Times Square a day and a half ago, and it was bizarre. It was absolutely bizarre. They had prayer mats laid out all across the street.
No, they didn't.
The microphones are going. It's probably going to be a month or so after he gets into January where he's going to be doing the 5 a.m. prayer call. So, yeah, that ought to be good on Park Avenue. That ought to work well.
All right, hold on a minute, Marco. Hold on a little. Now, listen. We're in Georgia doing the Kimmer Show, and so we got a lot of Georgia listeners that are tuned in right now. And I want you to explain to the Georgia listeners, because there are some listeners here, believe it or not, I'm sure, that haven't been to New York City. When you are saying, and please, Mark, I want you to tell them, please, when you're talking about what happened just now in New York, and because I want you to describe this, because I actually saw a news report on this last night, and I wanted to believe it wasn't true. But now that you're calling in and you're up there and you witnessed this, I can't believe this is true. But we're talking about Times Square. You're talking about Times Square. They blocked the streets and put prayer mats out?
Yep. They had a little impromptu rally. I'm pretty sure they didn't have any permits for it.
Well, they're Democrats. They don't have to have a permit.
Yeah, well, that's true, too. You know, I don't know why everybody was shocked that the blue cities elected blue people. Wasn't really much of a major distraction there. But New York is going down the toilet, man. But I'll tell you something. It takes, if you put it in terms of building something, it takes a lot longer to build something than do the demolition. Demolition is quick. It's easy. So everybody's talking about it's going to take 90, 100. No. I'm pretty sure in 30 days, as soon as you make those subways and the bus is free, you're going to have the homeless people barbecuing on your buses and subways. They're going to be living there.
So, Mark, is he actually talking about making the metro system free, just like the buses?
Yeah, it's not going to happen. He's going to try it, but, you know, right now, real estate people are panicking. It's going to be the same thing with I think it was the 1996 law that came into effect with the stable and rent-controlled apartments, where it doesn't pay for a landlord to rent an apartment anymore and rehab it because you can't get any money for it.
I just can't. This just blows my mind, Mark. Man, I'm going to thank you on behalf of the state of Georgia for calling in, because this is some great enlightenment. So let me ask you this: Okay, so I assume he's going to be inaugurated in January, and then he's going to start trying. What are the chances that Holcomb, your crazy governor, is going to try to slow him down? I mean, what are your
Holcomb
thoughts?
will not slow him down. She endorsed him.
Wow.
Her only chance, she has become so irrelevant. It's like a fly on a barbecue plate. It's irrelevant. You're not going to eat the fly. But she's still hanging around. You might wave her a couple times here and there, but I understand Elise Stefanik announced she's going to be looking to get the governorship. But you're talking about a deep blue state.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, if you look at what they're telling you, and you look at the smuggled out videos from these meetings of the radical Muslims, this is exactly their plan. Take over the politicos, and then it's home free.
Well, you know, there's some very smart people, way smarter than me, that have been writing for a while, saying that the demise of the United States is going to come from within. And Mark, it looks like it's going to start in New York City. Listen, Mark, that is my top of the hour music, man. I thank you so much for calling, folks. You hear it straight from the mouth of a New Yorker. You just heard that. I mean, we are not on a good road. Now, when we come back, I'm going to tell you why it's not all doom and gloom. And Marco, you need to get out of New York. But I'm going to tell you why the rest of the country, you don't need to be down in the dumps on this, because I'm going to give you some good reasons to hope. I'm going to do that when we come back.
Streaming across Georgia on the Xtra 106.3 app. This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. Xtra 106.3.
Air travelers have a message for lawmakers. On Lisa Brady, Fox News.
If I could vote every single legislator out on both parties and start with some people that are boringly neutral, I would do it.
This as disruptions spread on the first day of flight reductions ordered by the FAA at major airports to help ease the staffing issues with air traffic controllers.
I'm incredibly concerned. I don't feel safe flying at all.
The cuts are being made with safety in mind. Nationwide, more than 900 flights canceled today, more than 3,000 delayed. But the capacity reductions are being phased in, peaking at 10% next Friday. On day 38 of the government shutdown,
Democrats are ready to clear the way to quickly pass a government funding bill that includes health care affordability.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer proposing a one-year extension of Obamacare subsidies as part of a short-term spending bill to reopen government. He says a bipartisan committee could then work on longer-term solutions, and it would avoid negotiating during the shutdown, which Republicans oppose. But Republicans say it's still Democrats holding Americans hostage. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham telling reporters,
I'm not going to keep giving taxpayer dollars to the 5 largest healthcare insurance companies under Obamacare to get the government open.
This as a proposal from Wisconsin Republican Senator Ron Johnson to pay federal workers was blocked for the second time. The Senate Republican leader working on a new interim spending bill with a possible promise for a future vote on Obamacare subsidies, but it would still need 60 votes to advance. After wins this week for Democratic candidates focused on affordability, the president again defending his economic agenda.
Prices are down under the Trump administration, and they're down substantially.
But he's now accusing some meatpacking companies, those with majority foreign ownership, of driving up the price of beef, asking the Justice Department to investigate. America is listening to Fox News.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
You don't like this song, ladies and gentlemen, you ain't alive. Hey, listen, folks, if you haven't noticed, I love music. I used to play in a band. Shout out to Pointless. Anybody who heard us is probably laughing right now. We were actually a real band. It was a lot of fun. But I love music, and if you're hearing some of this stuff for the first time and you want to know what it is, just email me. I'm happy to share my musical taste. I love it. So, and again, folks, anytime you can email me, armandaris2010@gmail.com. armandaris2010@gmail.com. Just spell it correct, ARMENDARIZ. And you are tuned into the Kimmer Show. The Kimmer Show. I'm filling in. It's Victor Armandaris, and I'm happy to fill in anytime for Mr. the Kimmer. Folks, if you haven't got the Xtra app, make sure you get it. You can listen to the Kimmer anytime. You can listen to me when I fill in. It's a great thing to do. Get the Xtra 106.3 app. Xtra 106.3 app. Make sure you get that, folks. And again, a big thank you. I wouldn't be here, folks, if it weren't for the great listeners like Marco up in New York, and the other callers that called today. But the fact that they'll follow me and listen to me when I'm in other stations and filling in for others, it's very humble that you listeners do that, and I thank you so much. And And I mean, you guys are great. I mean, you're already hitting me up. And now's a good time when I'm on the air, because that's when I usually see a lot of stuff that's coming through. I mean, like I told you before, it takes me a while to get through emails, but when I'm sitting around and I see them coming in, it's awesome. And I know some of you are hitting me up. You want to know what I was going to say about Marjorie Taylor Greene, so I'll get to that. I will. I promise I'll get to it. But I got to do a little bit of housekeeping. I want to mention this. There is. And I'm looking at this, and if Mr. Dickey is listening, you got to hire me, dude. There is, so coming back, casino night, small business casino night is coming back to Xtra 106.3, 680 The Fan, November 20th. This is going to be presented by First Horizon Bank. We're talking food, fun, prizes, and get this. This is why I got to get a job here. God, you're going to have your shot at $50,000 in free advertising on the only true conservative talk station in the market. Yeah, folks, Xtra 106.3. Xtra 106.3. That's $50,000. $50,000 in free advertising. How are you not going to come get your shot at that? So get your business in the game. Email biz@680thefan.com. B-I-Z. B as in Bravo. I-Z as in Zulu. At 680thefan.com. Folks, spots are going to fill up. Make sure you go to B-I-Z, at 680thefan.com. And my goodness, you better get in on this. You got a shot at $50,000 in free advertising. Man, come on. Imagine what you could do with that here on Xtra 106.3 and 680 The Fan. All right. Okay. Before I get into my next rant, I want to tell you real quick. Oh, and listen, folks, just like Mark and the other callers, it's Anything Goes Friday. You can call me with anything on your mind. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that I'm ranting about. You can call me with anything. You've got relationship problems? Look, I'm about to set up. I'm about to set up. The producers look at me like, yeah, now they mention it. So I'm about to set a friend of mine up on a blind date on Sunday. This is going to be fun, and he's probably going to kill me for saying this over the air, but I won't give names. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. But no, it's Anything Goes Fridays. If you got a problem, you call and you let Dr. Victor take care of it. So, all right. I want to mention a few more sponsors, folks. I talked to you guys earlier, and you guys heard the Kimmer call in the first hour. Just an amazing man. You got to love the Kimmer. To take time to call in to his own show is pretty amazing. So I'm very honored by that. But he participated today in the Xtra 106.3 and the 680 The Fan Veterans Day Golf Classic at the Heritage Links. They were out there today in Tucker. That was all benefiting the Warrior Alliance and their mission to support active duty military and their transitioning, when their families transition back to civilian life. I just want to mention the sponsors because they had some great sponsors, and I want everybody to get a shout out. So you have, I'm drinking it right now. If you're on the webcams and you're looking at me now, and I know some of you are because I had somebody complain about my backpack that was on the table. Listen, folks, I'm old school, and I am on the wrong side of old, but I'm never going to grow up, and I carry a backpack. It's easy to do. I'm an old motocross racer and soccer player. I've got so many injuries right now I can't even list them, but it really makes my body, look, I'm on the wrong side of old numerically, but my body is really on the wrong side of old with all the injuries I have. So I carry a backpack. So, hey. But if you're on the webcams and you can see, I am drinking Free Bird. No, it's not beer. Because I know some of you have already asked, am I drinking beer? It's Free Bird Southern Spring Water. That's what's in this white can. And they were a sponsor. So Free Bird Water is a sponsor. Mizuno's a sponsor. Georgia Power is Warrior Alliance. CA South General Contractors. A1 Driveway Replacement. Southern Exteriors. Those are just some of the sponsors. Just great companies that participated in this sponsorship. So just big shout out to them and big thank you. So, okay, let me tell you guys what I was talking about with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know what it is, but there's an article out today. Now Marjorie Taylor Greene, I am starting to wonder. And if you're out there and you're in her district, I want you to call. Please call me. 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. Give me a call. Because if you're not paying attention, Marjorie Taylor Greene for the past couple of weeks is starting to sound like a Democrat. She's up to something, folks. I'm not sure what it is. My hunch is, and again, I don't have anything against her, folks. I don't. Listen, I've actually met her once. Full disclosure, I've met her once. She was really nice. She kind of looked at me like, who the heck are you? Who's this short Mexican dude talking to me? But folks, listen, I had the honor of being asked by the Trump campaign to be a speaker at one of the last rallies he did in the great state of Georgia. And while I was there, I got to mingle with politicians. And back then, Marjorie Taylor Greene was trying to climb so far up Trump's. I'll be nice. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. But I met a lot of politicians that were all trying to get close to Trump. And you can't blame them for it. But I did, full disclosure, it's like 10 seconds. I got to meet Marjorie Taylor Greene and say a few words. And like I said, she looked at me like, who the heck is this dude? But, whatever. She's not in my district, so she's not my gal. But at the time, like I said, most of the time she has been making good votes. She votes for lower taxes. She votes for smaller government. I'm okay with that. I don't care all the other stuff you do to get attention to yourself. I mean, sometimes I think it might be a little detriment to the cause, but whatever. As long as you're voting correctly, I'm okay with it. But what I'm not okay with is if you're looking, and trust me, folks, she wants to advance somewhere. All politicians do, or the most of them do. I have a feeling she's got some kind of plan, and for some reason she's listening to people or maybe it's her own decisions that she's just going to suddenly go against Trump. Because that's what she's doing. I mean, she's sounding like a Democrat. I saw an article. She's out. It might have been today. It might have been yesterday, saying that food prices aren't down, energy prices aren't down, the affordability, the things are more expensive now than they were under Joe Biden. Marjorie Taylor Greene, have you lost your mind, girl? Listen, now, mira mi gente, oye mi bien. Listen to me. This is what my dad used to say, mi gente, my people. Listen to me. When I was younger, when I brought home good grades from school, my dad would go, you are my people, mi gente. If I brought home a bad grade, my mom would go, you are your mama's people. So right now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she ain't our people anymore. She seems to be going to the left. I don't know why. But I want you people to pay attention. And if you're in her district, I would love for somebody to call me and let me know what you think. Because today, Marjorie Taylor Greene, or it was yesterday, is out there saying that her home energy is up over last year. Her Washington, D.C. energy. Well, of course your Washington, D.C. energy's up. That municipality, D.C., is run by a bunch of wacko Democrats. Everything in D.C. is going to be more expensive. Democrats run it. Now, your home in Rome, I guess you're in Rome, Georgia, I think. If your power costs more, look, I don't know. I'm not so sure I believe that. And I live in Georgia, and my power's not up over last year. And here's the thing. I understand that not everything has come down in price, and Marjorie Taylor Greene knows why. Here's why I have a problem with it. She may be right that some things cost a little more, and maybe they cost the same. They're still up. They haven't gone down enough. But she didn't mention gas, or maybe she did, but she's wrong. Gas went down. But when we come back, I'm going to tell you what Marjorie Taylor Greene is not telling you and why I'm a little suspect. We'll be right back.
Stream Atlanta's only conservative voice anywhere you go with the Xtra 106.3 app. Now equipped with Apple CarPlay. That means you'll always have Xtra's crystal clear HD stream right on your dashboard no matter where you are. Download the all-new Xtra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
I hold everything. Holy Crap at Sports is coming up. First of all, I hate to use events in the news for purposes to help our sponsors, but for crying out loud, Atlanta's Safe House. Boy, what's going on in California and the snow and ice here. Well, if you are out somewhere and you can't get into your house, Lord knows maybe somebody else can, and you want to keep your stuff safe. That's where Atlanta Safe House comes in. Home of the Kimmer Safes, of course. Now, as you know, down in Florida, I retired, went there, didn't have a safe, boom, bang, lost my medical records. I'm screwed for it. It's my own fault. Well, don't make make things your own fault. And again, the fires, I don't even want to think about it. But again, can you imagine losing all that thing, all your stuff in a fire, except for what's in your safe, all your medical records, your living will, your financial stuff, your bank accounts, your marriage and divorce pay. The stuff, as well as cash and jewelry and things you want to treasure and save. And the big gun safes, these things are always on sale, by the way. Browning, rebates all over the place, Fort Knox. The pistol safes are beautiful. They have a showroom in Ackworth. It's up on Industrial Boulevard. And again, hate to use the fire in California and the snowy and icy stuff here as examples, but it's a perfect example. It's why you need a safe. I found out the hard way. I hope you don't. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Look them up on the web, atlantasafehouse.com.
Ho, ho, holy cow. Family and friends are coming for the holidays, and you need some projects done around the house before they arrive. Relax. We've got you covered. Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia from the Trusted Toolbox. With our Handyman for a Day deal, we can knock out all those projects you've been putting off for months. From plumbing issues and painting to flooring, fencing, trim work, and much, much more. So get your home ready for the holidays and call us at 770-623-3097, or you can always book it online at thetrustedtoolbox.com.
If you're looking to take your coaching game to the next level, the Atlanta Braves invite you to join the annual Braves Coaches Clinic held at Truist Park Saturday, December 6th. This one-day clinic will include instruction from members of the Braves' current Major League coaching staff, in addition to notable Braves alumni. The clinic is perfect for coaches at every level of the game, from youth baseball through high school. Learn more and register today for only $30 at braves.com/clinics.
Faith, family, freedom. These are the cornerstones of America and the foundation for a successful life. But today, all three are under attack. Crushing debt, out-of-control spending, and reckless policies in Washington are threatening your savings, your retirement, and your future. Hi, this is Glenn Beck. The only financial advisory firm I recommend in Atlanta is Nicholas Wealth Management. David Nicholas and his team believe protecting your money is about more than wealth. It's about defending your faith, your family, and your freedom. If your hard-earned retirement is left exposed to market chaos, higher taxes, or inflation, what happens to the life you've worked so hard to build? For over 20 years, David Nicholas has helped families right here in Atlanta fight back with retirement strategies built to better withstand uncertainty. Call Nicholas Wealth Management today, 404-890-5606, or visit nicholaswealth.com. Aim to safeguard your future today.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies.
Did you know that there are over 34,000 lawyers in the state of Georgia? Yet despite that huge number, Bruce Hagan was recently named by his peers as one of the top 100 lawyers in the state. Do you know who is not among the top 100 lawyers in the state? Some clown standing on top of an 18-wheeler. Those kind of lawyers may make flashy ads, but they're just marketers, not real lawyers. If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need Bruce Hagan, a real lawyer who tries cases and wins. Call Bruce Hagan. He's the real deal for your injury case. Hagan-law.com.
Better Than Black Friday savings are here now at Aikens Ford in Winder with $15,000 off MSRP on select 2025 Ford F-150 XLT Crew Cab 4x4 pickups through November 30th. Hi, this is Brad Aikens, and you also get Ford's 10-year limited factory warranty and no additional charge. Stock number 14142, MSRP 69502 with approved financing in your 1995 or newer trade. Dealer retains factory rebates plus government fees. Ford's limited warranty is 10 years or 100,000 miles. See dealer for details. Visit us today at aikensford.com.
You know, they say this is the most wonderful time of the year, and it could be after you lovingly help your wife arrange your social calendar, build the party list, not to mention slogging through all of the holiday decorating. You're busy enough this holiday season without having to clean your gutters. So whether you're tired of unclogging gutters or you don't know even what your gutters look like, it's time for a permanent solution that you can depend on, and that solution is Leaf Filter. They're America's #1 gutter and gutter protection company, and for a limited time, you can save up to 35% off during their Black Friday sale by going to leaffilter.com/GlennBeck. Leaf Filter, their trusted pros are going to clean out, realign, and seal your gutters before installing Leaf Filter's award-winning and patented technology trusted by over 1 million homeowners. And every installation comes with a lifetime no clogs guarantee. So don't spend the holiday season worrying about your gutters. Schedule your free inspection and get up to 35% off your entire purchase at leaffilter.com/GlennBeck. That's LEAFfilter.com/GlennBeck. See representative for warranty details.
World Cup is coming next year. How awesome is that going to be? Man, I sure hope that I can weasel my way on some 680 The Fan discussion and talk about I tell you what, folks, I love soccer, and I can't wait for the World Cup and that song. And that's also, I mean, it's just a great song, period. That's the Bouncing Souls, folks. If you like a little bit of punk, you'll love them. So, folks, it's Xtra 106.3. I am Victor Armendariz, filling in for the Kimmer. I'm going to get in. All right, let me tell you, boy, there's so much to get to and so little time to do it. Let me get into a little bit more of this. So, Marjorie Taylor Greene is out there saying these things, and again, I don't know why, but she's making a almost a mission to go against Donald Trump. And Donald Trump's out there talking about all the prices down and the grocery price and all that. Now, I don't know who President Trump is listening to, but somebody does need to be able to go in and not be afraid to tell him not everything is down. And for those of you, listen to me. You cannot, it's just like Carl or Mark from New York, what he said earlier. He said, it takes a long time to build something. It doesn't take long, we're talking seconds almost, to destroy something. So this is what I mean. Biden and the Democrat Party were able to implement policies and basically really, really harm not just the economy, they harmed the United States. Look what Biden and Kamala did their first year in office. When they took office in 2021, look what they did. They flooded the borders with illegals. Now listen, you are listening to the Mexican Not Afraid to Be American. The Mexicano no tenga miedo a ser americano. That's me. I have family in Mexico, folks. I can speak on this with authority, or as Cartman says, authority. I have family. A lot of my people are in Mexico. I have seen abject poverty. If you think you've seen poverty in this country, trust me, you haven't. You haven't seen poverty until you see third world and fourth world poverty. I have seen people in the outskirts of cities in Mexico who literally live in cardboard boxes or under banana leaves. They've never had electricity. They've never had running water. They've never had a bathroom, let alone a kitchen to cook food in. I've seen this. I know what abject poverty is. And so when politicians in this country try and do some of the things and say some of the things and convince you some of the things, this is why I always say you live in the greatest country in the world. You really do. You really do. You don't have to agree with all politicians, but you should agree that you live in the greatest country. And if you haven't been outside of this country, don't tell me bad things about this country. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. But when I tell you, I can speak on this with authority. So I have compassion for the people that want to come to this country and better themselves. My own father did it. My uncle did it. My father and his brother came to this country to learn English, get educated, and climb up that ladder to achieve their happiness, their American dream. And they did it. I witnessed that. I witnessed growing up the American dream happen. I witnessed it, folks. So I know what I'm speaking about. I know of which I am speaking. There. I just do. And I know I have family that's in Mexico. I know that there are people that want to come here and better themselves. And I don't think there's one American here that's against that. But you can't open the borders and willy-nilly allow people to just come walk across. And remember, folks, back in 21, remember, they were still trying to lock you down. The Democrat Party was still trying to lock you down and tell you to wear a mask, tell you couldn't go places because of a virus. They were telling you had to have a shot. They wanted you fired. The Democrat Party wanted you fired from your job if you didn't get a shot because they told you to take it because of a virus. But at the same time, they were allowing millions of people to walk across the border. We didn't know where these people were coming from. We just knew they were coming from the South. That doesn't mean they were from Guatemala or Nicaragua or Venezuela. Not all of them were. Some of them were coming from Middle Eastern countries and places that aren't exactly friends of ours. A lot of Chinese. I witnessed this, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I go to Mexico several times a year. And I go down to the right there with the border of Guatemala, where Mexico and Guatemala. I have actually straddled the line. I have stood on the border where one leg was in Mexico and one leg was in Guatemala. I've seen the caravans come over. I've talked to family that live down there in southern Mexico, close to the Guatemalan border. They live in a city where these caravans of people came through. I was down there and witnessed Chinese nationals coming in to listen, there is just like any city, there's pockets of wealth and there's pockets of poverty. And the same is for Mexico. And there is down there near the Guatemalan border, there is a really nice hotel and a really nice mall where people with money go to. And I was there. Now, I'm not saying I got money. I just was going there because I knew I could get some good food. And I like going there and looking at the stores. But I was in that mall, and it's safe. I was in there and I witnessed Chinese nationals who came across the border illegally that were gathered in that mall. They had cell phones, and they didn't have your burner phone from Walmart. They had iPhones. They had money. Now, you want to explain to me why Chinese nationals were coming across the border with money? They chose to come across illegally? Yeah, I don't have to explain to you what was going on. This is what was happening under the Biden administration. They were telling you had to be in a mask and you had to get vaccinated, or you needed to be fired and not have a job and not be able to make money to take care of yourself or your family. They were telling you that. At the same time, they're letting Chinese nationals and God knows who else come across the border. And not one time were they required to get a vaccine. And you can fact check me on this until the cows come home. And ladies and gentlemen, I am not angry. I am just right. I'm not angry. I'm just right. You had millions of people coming across the border illegally with the Biden administration just letting them across for 4 years. And in 21, not once did they require them to have a shot. Not once did they say you needed papers. Remember the Democrat Party said you needed to have a passport showing you were vaccinated? The Democrat Party that calls Donald Trump a Nazi, the Democrat Party, let me tell you something, folks. If you haven't figured it out yet, everything the Democrat Party accuses Donald Trump or the Republicans of being or doing, the Democrat Party is either planning to do, they are doing it, or they want to do. The Democrat Party of today is the biggest party of projection that I've ever seen. Because listen to me well, folks. Hear me well. Everything today's Democrat Party accuses President Trump of, or the Republican Party of, the Democrat Party is either planning to do to you, they want to do to you, or they're already doing to you. And a prime example of that was they're over here, the Democrat Party, calling Donald Trump every name in the book and getting the man shot. But they're calling Republicans Nazis. They're calling you a voter. If you voted for Republican, you're a Nazi. You're a sympathizer. You're authoritarian and all this stuff. When it's the Democrat Party, you know what's authoritarian, folks? Telling the American citizen they need to carry papers around to prove they've been vaccinated. That's authoritarian. Your Democrat Party did that to you. The Republican Party didn't do that to you. Your Democrat Party said you can't go to church. You might catch a virus. You can't go to a funeral of your loved one. You might give them a virus before they get 6 feet under. You can't go to the hospital to visit your ailing relative because you might give somebody a virus. And at the same time, they said it's perfectly okay if you're a Democrat and you're going to go out there and you're going to go protest against Republicans, well, then that's okay. You don't need a vaccine or a mask. Somehow COVID knew to go around you if you were a Democrat protester. If you were going to go riot on behalf of the Democrat Party, well, you didn't need any protection because the virus wasn't going to get you. If you wanted to go buy pot, you could buy pot. Those stores were open. If you needed liquor and beer, those stores were open. Are you seeing, folks? You shouldn't be one of those voters who forgets things so easily. It's the Democrat Party that did these things to you, which is why I don't understand, and I'll get back to it, I promise, why I don't understand why Marjorie Taylor Greene is taking sides with today's Democrat Party all of a sudden. I've never seen a switch like this. I haven't seen a switch like this since a fat kid's head turned so fast when a donut fell behind him. A Krispy Kreme donut, that is. We'll be right back.
106.3 is connected to the Atlanta community with the local officials and candidates that share your values, plus the national perspective from the most trusted name in news like Glenn Beck, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, and Atlanta's own Neil Bortz. Proud to be the conservative voice of Atlanta. Xtra 106.3 FM and the Xtra app.
Hey, good news for landscapers and builders and contractors. If you're building somebody a patio or deck or maybe landscaping the backyard and stuff, Stovall and Company, your wholesale landscaping supply dealer, has got what you exactly need because they're so successful. They're opening their 11th store on Union Hill in Canton. They're so successful because they're a family business for 75 years. That means if you need something, they get it to you. Whether it's boulders and rocks or grass or trees and bushes and shrubs, they do it all. Great prices, family business. You can trust them and they'll be there when you need them. Look them up, StovallInc.com.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if you've got old, drafty, sticking, or leaking windows, you need the experienced pros at Window Nation. You can pay a lot less and still get the premium windows you're dreaming of. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to GetWindowNation.com or call 866-90Nation for your free estimate. And for a limited time, get 50% off all window styles, plus pay no interest for 5 years.
Are you looking for something simple but delicious, sweet but also savory? Discover Schumann Farms Sweet Onions. Schumann Farms is a third-generation family farm with the Real Sweet brand sweet onions. Whether you're grilling, sautéing, or simply adding a fresh crunch to your salad, Schumann Farms has you covered. Look for Schumann Farms Real Sweet brand sweet onions at your grocery store and taste the difference for yourself. Schumann Farms, the Georgia family farm growing tradition and the world's sweetest onions.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Hey, this is Tom Mitchell, the Honest Car Guy. So things are deceiving sometimes, and it's hard to explain how much money I can really save you. I've saved people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, on a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20,000. I mean, let's be realistic. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000, but it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize, the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%, or really it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. We found a better way for customers to buy a car, an honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee. We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal. So the beauty of what we do is we don't put you on a car that we have to sell. We put you on a car that you want. And at the Honest Car Guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car. Call 1-844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. or listen to the podcast anywhere. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You gotta love Anthrax, folks. I told you, I got a great musical taste. In my opinion, it's great. If you're gonna listen to rap or that type of stuff, you should listen to Anthrax and some of the stuff they did. It's great. All right, folks, you are tuned into Xtra 106.3, The Kimmer Show, and I am Victor Armendariz, filling in for The Kimmer, the Mexican not afraid to be American. If you want to learn more about me, find out. You can easily find out more about me. Just go to the social medias. That stuff that's rotting your brain, yeah, go find it. I'm on there. I don't like it, but I'm on there because of what I do. I have to be. When you're in radio, you have to be on social media. But go find me, folks. I'd really appreciate the follow. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on, you name it. I'm there. TikTok, Spotify, all of them. And Spotify especially, you can find all my shows on Spotify, so you definitely should follow me there. So I appreciate it, folks, if you'll do that. It's great. And again, it's the Victor Armendariz Show, the Victor Armendariz Show. All right, folks. There's still time for Anything Goes Friday. If you want to give me a shout and participate in this show, it's 404-741-1230, 404-741-1230, and you can be a part of this show. All right. And especially if you disagree, if you disagree with me, or you happen to be in Marjorie Taylor Greene's district, I would love to hear from you. Listen, folks, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I really want to know what's going on. How many, show of hands, how many people think Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to run for president in 28? I don't know. I haven't heard anything, but just based on her actions, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this lady went to one of the most staunchest supporters for President Trump to now sounding like a Democrat. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene is out there saying, come on, you want to know another way you can tell that Marjorie Taylor Greene is not on the side of President Trump right now? Because all of a sudden, The View is inviting her on. Listen, The View crucified Marjorie Taylor Greene before, the last few years. It was only recently when The View decided, let's have on Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's a reason for that, folks. There's CNN. You're starting to see her, Marjorie Taylor Greene, pop up on CNN. I wouldn't be surprised if you'll soon, if not already, if she's going to be on MSNBC. There's a reason for this, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason for it. These places never had her on before, or didn't really didn't advertise or really want to have her on, I should say. And I don't know. This is my opinion. But now all of a sudden, CNN wants her on. I bet you she'll be on MSNBC if she hasn't been already. The View wants her on. I mean, there's a reason for this, because she's speaking out against Donald Trump. Now, you've got to ask yourself, listen, I am, again, I'm not a sycophant to anybody. So I will call out any side of the aisle when I see them doing something that is suspicious to me. And right now, I am observant enough. Listen, folks, I wasn't always a talk show host. I have a past, and part of that past allows me to be very observant. And I'm smart enough and observant enough to see Marjorie Taylor Greene is up to something. You don't make a change like this unless you have an end goal. There's something she's doing, and maybe she thinks she needs to differentiate herself from Trump. To think, maybe that's her thinking, that if she does that, then maybe she thinks she has a chance to run for president in 2028. I don't know. Maybe she'll jump into the Senate race in Georgia that's coming up. I tend to doubt it, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Something's going on, though, because for her to come out and say, listen, Marjorie Taylor Greene knows that Joe Biden and the Democrats did so much damage that it's going to take more than 10 months for Donald Trump to turn this economy around. When Ronald Reagan took over the mess from Jimmy Carter, it took Ronald Reagan 2 years to turn the economy around. And honestly, President Trump has done an amazing job in 10 months. The only thing that I'm not a fan of are tariffs. And I will always be honest with you, the listener. I'm always, no matter where you hear the Victor Armendariz show, no matter where you hear me, no matter who I'm filling in for, I'm never going to lie to the listeners. And I've always been straightforward. I don't like tariffs. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the history of tariffs, they're a Democrat idea. The Democrats love tariffs, which is why you haven't seen, listen, the Democrats would love the Supreme Court to go against Donald Trump on tariffs, not because they don't love tariffs. It's because they want to go against Donald Trump no matter what. If Donald Trump came out tomorrow and said, air is great, you need to breathe, you would have thousands of Democrats hold their breath tomorrow. I mean, that's how bad the Democrats are. That's how much tribalism has just that's around politics right now. They got to go against Donald Trump. So they want the Supreme Court to go against Donald Trump on tariffs, not because they don't like tariffs. They want to do it because they want everything to go against Trump. But I don't like tariffs, and I'm 100% consistent here. I didn't like tariffs before Trump, and I don't like tariffs now. And if you ask me why, I will tell you. A tariff is a tax. I don't care what anybody tells you about tariffs. Tariffs are a tax. And if you know anything about taxes, the only entity that pays taxes is the individual, you and me, the consumer. When you hear Democrats, listen, Democrats, it drives me crazy because they get away with this year after year after year. Democrats will tell you corporations. Listen, Bernie Sanders, he's the lead actor in this. Listen, how many times have you heard Bernie Sanders? Corporations need to pay more taxes. You need health care, and everybody need health care. And when you get health care, we got to have more taxes. And they want to tax corporations. Ladies and gentlemen, corporations do not pay taxes. They collect taxes. You know who pays taxes? You and me do. When you hit corporations with a tax, that's a cost of doing business. And when that product, whatever that corporation, product or service, whenever that product or service hits you, the consumer, you are going to pay the tax. And the same thing, tariff is no different. When you put on a tariff, it is a tax, and it's going to increase the price of whatever is tariffed. And yes, the exporter will eat some of it. Yes, the importer will eat some of it, but the consumer is still going to eat some of it. And that's going to happen. So I agree, and I trust Donald Trump because Donald Trump has not given me a reason not to trust him. So even though, and again, I am honest enough and man enough to tell you that I don't like tariffs. But I'm honest enough to understand that what Donald Trump is doing with tariffs has gotten us some positivities. It has increased, and the consumers will pay more on some things. That's happening because it's a tax. I don't care what anybody tells you. And I don't like it that Donald Trump, somebody is telling him that the consumer's not going to pay the tariff, because that's just not true. It's just not true. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen. You know. And the consumer knows. And this is one of the red flags that I'm going to talk about what the Republicans have going into the midterm elections next year, is you better start figuring out what the exit strategy is. And I believe Donald Trump has an exit strategy on tariffs. I really do. He's already lowering them. If you pay attention, he's already lowering them. The tariffs in India is coming down. The tariffs in China are coming down. And he's working these deals. So I trust Trump. I know that you can utilize tariffs to make deals like Donald Trump is doing. There's nothing wrong with that. The tariff can be used to protect the American people. I'm not against that. I just don't want to mislead the American people and telling them that they're not going to pay for it somehow. Billions of dollars are coming in because of tariffs. But we, the American citizen, are paying for part of that. And I don't have a problem when it's for the good of America, when we're doing the things we need to do to make things better, and Donald Trump has to use a tariff to keep China in check and to protect some things about our industry, then I understand. I am a willing participant. I just want you to understand that you're going to, Bernie Sanders and some Democrats tell you it's patriotic to pay taxes. Well, it's patriotic to understand that sometimes Donald Trump might have to use the tariff to get a country in order and to get us on level playing ground. But eventually those tariffs have got to go down and they got to go away, or it will keep prices high. That is a fact. That is a fact, and no one can convince me otherwise. You want to learn a lot about economics? Go read Milton Friedman. Read Milton Friedman. That guy, you can read, oh my gosh, he's going to forget his name. Thomas, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a Biden moment. Why am I going to forget this guy's name? I know, our producer's laughing at me. I'm having a Biden moment. Well, anyway, there's some good economists out there. And Milton Friedman was one of them. And go read what he had to say about tariffs. Folks, I'm not wrong. It's Economics 101. I am not wrong about tariffs. President Trump is right when he talks about using tariffs to make deals and to protect the United States and get things on level ground. He's right with that. But I am right in telling you that tariffs are a tax and the consumer is going to pay for some of it. I'm not wrong in that. And that's why the Democrats aren't trying to make legislation to stop Trump from using tariffs, because Democrats love tariffs. Why? Because they love taxation. The Democrats have never seen a tax they don't love. And so I trust Donald Trump. He hasn't proven me wrong yet. I trust that he's going to get these tariffs down. And when he does, you're going to see, folks, the economy is going to rocket next year. And when we come back from this break, I'll give you some clues on why this economy is going to rocket ship next and why I think Marjorie Taylor Greene is up to something. We'll see ya. We'll be right back, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Xtra 106.3 app is your live connection to the station, streaming free across Georgia. But it's also loaded with all our original shows and podcasts. Listen to exclusive shows from Janelle King, Ben Burnett, and so many more. Grab the Xtra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Hey, it's Tug. I was raised to respect my neighbors, and they've got plenty to say about Southern Exteriors. Sarah from Covington, very professional, no hassle, and great quality. Will from Jackson, the crew showed up on time, worked efficiently, and left everything spotless. Jennifer from Jenkinsburg summed it up. Awesome, caring, professional. That's Southern Exteriors. Trusted by me, trusted by your neighbors. Call 8779 Southern or visit southernexteriors.co. That's southernexteriors.co.
Here today with Evan Ward of Atlas Retirement. And Evan, I recently read an article that said 65% of those surveyed, they're more worried about running out of money in retirement than they are of death itself. So let's talk about some of the ways you can help our listeners replace that paycheck they've relied on for all these years in their working lives.
Well, it makes sense that they'd be scared of that, because what do you do if you run out of money in retirement? You're going to go back to work? Who's hiring folks that are retired and physically and mentally, you're going to be able to do that? And isn't the whole point of having a financial advisor so that you never have to worry about that again? So one of the ways that we do that is we build a fully comprehensive income plan so that we know there's money coming in every month that'll cover your bills, give you the quality of life that you're looking for, no matter what the market's doing, no matter how long you live. In some cases, regardless of what happens to you health-wise. So we can put plans in place to eliminate or at least mitigate all of those kind of risks every single person deals with in retirement.
I know a lot of our parents relied on pensions, but let's be honest, Evan, the pension is becoming a thing of the past. But there are ways for folks to create their own personal pensions, aren't there?
Yeah, so I'm a big proponent of do-it-yourself pension. But when we do the pension ourselves, the one negative with a pension is all the value in the pension goes away once you turn on the actual income. With the plans that we build with the do-it-yourself pensions, you maintain that asset, or more specifically, your surviving spouse, your kids. And so you live forever. You get a ton of paychecks, and whatever's left over goes to the wife and kids, surviving spouse, beneficiaries, whoever that might be.
Call Atlas Retirement for a complimentary review of your savings and investments today. Call 678-736-7799. Again, that's 678-736-7799. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
Hey, this is Tom Mitchell, the Honest Car Guy. So things are deceiving sometimes, and it's hard to explain how much money I can really save you. I've saved people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, on a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20,000. I mean, let's be realistic. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000, but it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize realize the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%, or really it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. We found a better way for customers to buy a car, an honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee. We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal. So the beauty of what we do is we don't put you on a car that we have to sell. We put you on a car that you want. And at the Honest Car Guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car. Call 1-844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Hey, this is John Flading. I'm the president and owner of ATL Turf Co. We have become a highly sought-after turf installation company in the Atlanta and North Georgia luxury residential market. Big reason for that is our installers are ATL Turf Co. employees. We do not outsource labor. They are trained to be experts in the turf installation process, drainage, grading. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Don't believe this nonsense you see on TV commercials about how uncomfortable a CPAP mask is. Take it from me. You wear one, especially the nasal pillow I use, for one night, and you will fight anybody that tries to take it away from you. But if they do take it away from you, you can get more at cpapsetcetera.com, cpapsetc.com, with a store in Alpharetta, same-day shipping. To your health, cpapsetc.com.
The Morning Extra, every weekday on your drive to work.
Time is going to look back on Donald Trump so much differently than what the historians are. Yeah. So much so that I can tell you this. In 4 short years, he won in a landslide. Because it took 4 years for America to go, that was better. Let's get it here.
Let's go back to that.
In fact, we can make the argument he's won 3 times.
That's right.
Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station is Xtra 106.3 FM and the Xtra 106.3 app.
If I could play guitar like this guy, I wouldn't be sitting here. All right, folks. Xtra 106.3. This is the Kimmer Show, and I am not the Kimmer. I'm Victor Armendariz, your Mexican, not afraid to be American. You can find me. It's the Victor Armendariz Show. Find me on social media, folks. I'd appreciate it. It would be great. It'd be great. I think... And I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah, it's going to be embarrassing. I think producer Joe found, folks, listen, I'm not kidding. I love music, and I really did. I really was in a band. And if you're in Georgia, my band was called Pointless, and we headlined at the Masquerade. I actually got to play on the stage where Joey Ramone played, and it was a highlight for me. It was absolutely amazing. I'll never forget it. It was great, and we played out a lot for a while. And then our guitarist, who you're about to hear, because I'm about to play this, our guitarist got a little bit of crazy. Well, I'll tell you what it was. He met a girl, and she took him to California. And so that broke up the band. Well, actually, the first thing that broke up the band, oh my gosh, my friends are going to kill me. The first thing that broke up the band is the guitarist got the lead singer pregnant. We used to have a female. Man, they're going to kill me. We had a female singer, and then that ended that. And but anyway, so we ended up in the studio. We made a CD, and we played around a lot. It was a lot of fun. But producer Joe, go ahead and fire that up. Let's embarrass me. Yes, folks. This is the band Pointless. This song is called Winter's Frost. And guess what? It was written about a girl. But no, we had a lot of fun. And I love music, folks. And now, so the guitar player for Pointless, who lives in California, he called me the other day and he goes, hey, there's this great new app or some kind of thing with the computers. Listen, folks, I am technologically retarded, but my friend who's a guitar player, he is a tech genius. And he called me up and he said, we can start playing again because we can do it through online. And you can be in one place on the other side of the country, but we can actually come together through this, whatever this app is, and we can play as if we were sitting next to each other. So it's going to be awesome. We're going to do that again, so it'll be great. So I'll let you know when, in case we actually put it on YouTube or something. Maybe we will. Who knows? But all right, folks, listen. I just saw this pop up. This headline just popped up. So a caller mentioned this earlier, Elise Stefanik. So she has announced. So apparently she officially announced that she is going to run for governor of New York. Now, next year is the governor election in New York, for the state of New York. And the representative Elise Stefanik has announced she's officially running for governor of New York. Wow, this is going to be something else, folks. She announced on social media that Hochul was the worst governor in America, and I'm running for governor to make New York affordable and safe for all. Democrats, Republicans, and independents will unite to save our state. Hey, look, I wish all the luck to Representative Stefanik. Maybe she has a shot, because I'll tell you this. Outside of New York City, New York is pretty much a red state. I'm not kidding you, folks. Outside of New York City, there's a lot of conservatives left. And if they all get together and then they peel off some Democrat vote because they're going to be so angry with what Mandami does, this maybe, just maybe, Stefanik has a chance for winning. The difference between New York and New Jersey and Virginia is Stefanik is going to be a formidable candidate. Listen, Winsome Sears in Virginia, great lady, great history. And I think she was a Marine. I know she's a veteran. What a wonderful, wonderful lady. And shame on Virginia for not voting for her. But she just wasn't, and just being honest, she wasn't as strong of a candidate as Stefanik's going to be. Representative Stefanik is going to be a strong candidate. And the guy in New Jersey that ran for governor, I mean, dude, he was a decent candidate enough. Maybe not the best, but he was a decent candidate. But the problem with what Ciccarelli had in New Jersey was, if you look at the numbers, since 2021, the number of people who left New Jersey, and let's face it, most of them were Republican voters. There has been such an exodus from New Jersey that there's just not that much Republican vote left. So I don't know if a Republican will ever win in New Jersey, no matter how good the candidate is. That's just a fact. It's the same thing with New York City. There's never going to be another Giuliani, I don't think, folks, because there's just not enough Republicans left. So many. I'll give you an example. If you look at the New York City budget, and this is what you're going to get from Victor Armendariz, folks. I'm just going to give you the facts and common sense and logical analysis. If you look back a few years ago, we're talking 21, 22. If you look back, New York City used to have about $13 billion more dollars coming in from their tax base that they don't have now, because that money walked away. That's how much money has left. That's how much wealth has left the state of New York, because a lot of people in New York, in Wall Street, that lived in New York City, got the heck out when that Cuomo, who was you want to see an example of an authoritarian, go back and look what Cuomo did during COVID. I mean, the guy, I should say allegedly, but the guy wasn't exactly friendly to old folks' homes. The guy sent a lot of grandmothers and grandfathers to their deathbeds for the way he did COVID, and he shut you down. He wouldn't even let you eat in a restaurant, even outside. I mean, what Cuomo did to New York City was ridiculous, but a lot of people left. A lot of wealth left New York City, and the tune of 13 or so, I think it's over $13 billion in wealth has left New York City. That's that. I'm talking not the individual wealth. I'm talking the tax money. The tax. If those people hadn't have left New York today, Mandami would have 13 more billion dollars that he would have for his budget, city budget, if all that wealth hadn't have left. But those people left. They took their tax dollars with them. And you know where they are? They're in Florida. They're in Georgia. They're in Tennessee. They're in Texas. Especially Texas, Tennessee, and Florida, because there's no state income tax. Why is it that the best run states in this country are states with no income tax, no state income tax? You ever ask yourself that? Which brings me to the matter of Georgia. Listen, we got a governor's race coming up in Georgia, and if you are a governor and you think you're going to win in Georgia, listen, we the voters in Georgia shouldn't vote for anybody for governor who's not for getting rid of the Georgia income tax. I am telling you right now, if you're listening to me in the state of Georgia and you're a voter, or if you're listening to me in the state of Georgia and you're going to run for governor, you darn well better be prepared to get rid of the Georgia income tax, or don't run. Because I will do everything I can on my social media And on my radio shows, I will do everything to defeat any Republican or Democrat, especially Democrats, but any Republican that's running that doesn't get behind getting rid of the Georgia income tax. I'm going to go against you. I'm going to go for the guy who, and maybe it'll be the military guy. There's a military guy running for the Georgia governor. Listen, folks, I am running out of time. I am going to run out of time. There's a lot more I can get to. You guys are going to have to tune into my show. Listen, a big thank you to the Kimmer. Thank you for letting me fill in. A shout out to Rebel, InfoSec, Solomon's Brothers Jewelry, Georgia Sports, Weber Ranch Vodka, Surfside Iced Tea, Lemonade Vodka, Beaver Toyota, First Watch, all of Georgia Power. All of them were sponsors in the golf tournament today for Warriors Alliance. Thank you to all of them. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again to the Kimmer for letting me fill in. You guys go find me, Victor Armendariz Show. You can listen to me anytime you want on Spotify. But if you want to hear more about what I was talking about earlier, tune into my shows, and we will see you the next time the Kimmer needs me to come in for him, because I will be at the ready. Thank you, guys.
This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Locally owned and heard throughout Georgia on the Xtra app.
They call it a non-starter.